How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
To give you some idea.
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them.
We're live. We're live.
young
We're live.
woman with
Candace is live.
absolutely
We're
zero
live.
professional qualifications has been inserted at the top of a charity organization
Hi.
that pulled
We're
in
live.
over a
Hi.
$250 million
Candace just
last
started.
year,
We're
and
live.
the media is telling you that you have no right to know or to ask anything about her. The argument being made is that her husband was murdered, therefore she has a right to assume the position. And despite the fact that Turning Point USA is a
How's everyone
literal
doing today?
charity, and therefore
You
does not
guys
even
ready to
have
watch Candace
pay
go
tax
nuts?
on that $250 million plus or pay tax on
Candace
the
live.
alleged future billions
Welcome to the
that
show.
it's due to rake in thanks to a deal with a man named Pierre. These talking heads are claiming that the public simply wanting to ensure the person who is running
My
that
square looks
organization
different.
is, I don't know, at a bare minimum, moderately honest about who she says she is. No, that inquiry makes you a monster. So I guess your job is to head to work 9 to 5, receive a flurry of unsolicited emails and text messages reminding you that Charlie Kirk, the innocent man that you watched be executed in broad daylight live, you're to be reminded that that was her Charlie. My Charlie needs your help. Here's how you can give us your 401k and house.
Well, it was
Emails
her
have been
Charlie, technically,
landing into
Candace.
your
It was
inbox
actually
at
her
118
Charlie.
saying things like that. There's virtually nothing that the
Ugh.
feds are telling us about his murder that makes any objective sense. But if you're feeling weird about any of that, you're reminded constantly that she is a grieving widow. She's a grieving widow.
Yeah, I can't do anything about YouTube
That
censorship. I'm
sentence,
sorry.
in my
I can't look
opinion, is
into it
this
right this
year's
second.
Trust the Science.
I
She's
will
a
look
grieving
into
widow.
it, though.
The mainstream
I don't know what's
media,
happening
of
with the
course,
YouTube
Zionist
censorship.
implied, are effectively telling you to roll up your sleeves and get the vaccine again, dopes. Tyler Robinson did it. Erika Kirk is grieving. Please allow her to do so in the privacy of the $1 billion charity that she took over. Remember when they did the 6 feet social distancing thing? They cast that spell. Let your granddad die alone in the hospital. If you desire to see your grandma this Thanksgiving, it's because you're a demon from the gates of hell. Yeah. Resist your human instincts. Obey the government. It's the same kind of messaging, the same kind of emotional manipulation, but it's a new year. Still have questions or concerns about who Erika Kirk is and why she seems to have lied many times on record? Well, you're Satan, and I'm sorry that you are.
Yeah, Candace
And
is
also,
literally
I would like to
Satan,
remind you
guys.
that you are destroying Charlie's legacy.
Real.
Now, it is very important that I remind you, we haven't even said anything yet. A 2-minute trailer resulted in one of the most aggressive preemptive PR strikes that I have ever seen.
We're going to watch
They
Dan Bongino's
posted
meltdown later.
photos of my manager's infant daughter, my makeup artist, my family members.
No
Lots of
shit.
voicemail for my producer. Okay. Well, this was initially supposed to be just 3 episodes, but now I'm thinking about a season 2 and a season 3. Because if you haven't quite figured me out yet, or
Good.
thought through how we got here. I don't like it when innocent people are targeted and attacked and on rare occasions shot in the neck in broad daylight.
You should follow that instinct,
No one
Candace.
blinked when entire investigative series and books were written about Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Meghan Markle, because they're public figures. I've effectively endured 10 years in politics with nonstop exposés and investigations into my background, but we're told Erika is somehow untouchable. Let me tell you
So
something.
real, Candace.
The truth does not require a multi-million-dollar PR campaign. It also does not fear inspection. So welcome to Bride of Charlie.
This is going to be fucking awesome. Are you guys ready for
Bride.
this? Candace is losing her fucking mind, and we're here for it. It's Entertainment Day, guys. We're taking a break today. It is Entertainment Day.
Where should we begin in
Shalom.
this story? I think maybe with just a blanket statement. Something is not right
A
with
little
Erika Kirk.
deportation, please.
And despite a most aggressive influence campaign, which at one point even included a signed
definitely
letter from the
Deport
Secretary of Treasury
Yo,
assuring us that
welcome,
Turning Point is a
Foznauts.
above-board, amazing organization.
Appreciate you, bro.
And despite, in addition to that, a flurry of
W for
homosexual men making
Foznauts.
over dramatic videos about sheer evil. No, not mass murdering children. Sheer evil, investigating someone at the helm of a billion-dollar company. Despite all of that, the public remains unconvinced that she is simply a grieving widow, because she isn't simply a grieving widow. She's also the CEO and chairman of an organization. In fact, during our preparation for this series, an investigative journalist named Elizabeth Lane went viral on X because what she authored about Erika was brilliant. It just was objectively brilliant. It gave voice to what millions of people worldwide were feeling, but didn't exactly know how to express. And I'm going to read you her words in their entirety because I think it's very important, okay?
Critical.
Elizabeth Lane wrote, "I'm going to be blunt. I have reached the point where I find Erika Kirk to be deeply disturbing, not because of rumors or gossip, but because of consistent, observable patterns of behavior. To be clear, everything I say in this post is my opinion. I am not claiming this as a fact. I am saying this is what I think Erika Kirk is. I come from the world of acting and modeling. I have spent years around social climbers, opportunists, image curators, and people who treat relationships like ladders. That is why I left that world. Most of these people are shallow and harmless. A few are
Candace is still in
dangerous.
that world, by the way.
Erika falls into the latter category, not because she is just ambitious, but because of how calculated and performative her ambition appears to be. I believe she may be a psychopath. What stands
Probably
out
true.
immediately is the reaction that she provokes in other people, which is very
I'm
common with
smoking a
psychopaths.
cigarette. I don't know what you guys
Across
are
the board,
smoking, but
including
I'm
people who
smoking
support her
nicotine,
publicly,
obviously.
the private reaction is the
Tobacco
same.
and
It's,
nicotine.
I can't watch her. It's not a criticism. It's just a physical discomfort. People turn off interviews because the presentation feels artificial to the point of being unbearable. Let me explain. That kind of response does not happen accidentally and does not happen often. Research in psychology shows that humans are highly sensitive to emotional incongruence, mismatches between a facial expression, tone, and content. When the effect appears simulated rather than genuine, the brain registers it as a threat. This activates discomfort and avoidance, even if the person cannot consciously explain why. So many of us felt this way, but we could not explain why we could not watch her. Studies on psychopathy, particularly those building on the work of psychologists like
Psychopathy,
Robert
actually,
Hare,
Candace,
describe
with that.
traits such as a rehearsed emotional display and shallow affect. These traits can create what observers experience as an uncanny interpersonal dynamic. The discomfort arises and people want to shut it off because most people rarely encounter extreme affective mimicry in everyday life. So the brain struggles to categorize.
It was a
what
convincing
it is
series.
detecting.
What can I say?
Erika is attractive enough,
Thank
and she
you.
had every tool in her possession to sell this organically, except for one thing: emotion. The entire story of what happened could have helped her sell this fully. She really would have been the last person on earth to be a suspect, if not for the FBI's terrible mistakes, Turning Point USA's lies, and her very fake performance. Plenty of attractive, ambitious women move through media spaces without triggering that response, even though we know what they are. This is about something else, an extreme disconnect between presentation that she puts out and the perceived authenticity.
Guys, I will look
Erika
into the
is not
YouTube
the
chat
archetype
settings.
of a
I didn't
model
change
actress
anything, so I don't
seeking
know
money
what's
and
going
fame
on.
and then settling into a quiet life with a wealthy, good-looking husband. She is the wolf type who wants to be in the place of that husband. She is not born for a supporting role. She's a decision maker. She appears to pursue proximity to power, moving fluidly between television, nonprofits, branding opportunities, and ideological spaces that maximize her exposure. Her previous partners are guys that women like her would date, muscular, jacked, good looking, even though they are not people with huge potential. They are all somewhat established. They are good stepping stones until the right person shows up. Now, looking at her previous partners, I would say that Charlie probably was not her type visually, but he was exactly what she was looking for
Charlie
in a
wasn't
man:
anyone's type
potential to
visually.
be a
No
great
offense,
power.
like, respect the
What
dead and
Erica
all
was
that,
looking
but
for
he
is the
was
same
not the
thing
best
Hillary
looking guy in the
Clinton was
world.
looking for when she met Bill. She recognized that Bill Clinton was her ticket to power, the power that she could control, and she was
Erika
right.
Kirk
She
is Hillary
realized that she could
Clinton.
create a great
Okay.
brand out of him and herself, and they still are a brand, the Clintons. No one in this world can say that those two love each other. They are a brand that works. That's why she's sticking around despite Epstein and Lewinsky. Also, if you think Bill is the decision maker there, you must have never been in close proximity to the Clintons. She moves the game. She is the decision maker. Erica saw a brand with Charlie. She also saw that Charlie could one day become president of the United States if he wanted to. Charlie had the ear of the most powerful segment of any society, students. He was going to be a very important player in politics, and she was not missing that ride. What is striking is how completely her public identity reshapes itself after that relationship begins. The aesthetic, the tone, the values, the presentation all change. Overnight, the persona shifts into the role that best suits Charlie's world: devoted Christian, modest, a supportive housewife. That kind of rapid adaptation is quite impressive for a usual person, but not for a psychopath because they do it all the time. In my head, the story goes like this. For a moment, it works. She becomes the wife of a rising political figure with access to donors, institutions, and national platforms. At that point, the ceiling isn't social media influence, it's empire building, foundations, global
Mhm.
reach, a legacy, a brand, the Kirks. It's obvious that Charlie listens to her, whether it's about donors or the trajectory of Turning Point USA. The
What
most
the fuck is
influential
going
figure
on
in
with
any
YouTube
mentally
chat?
healthy man's life is going to be his wife. She's going to be the biggest influence, and that is just how it is.
I'm
That is
looking
why
into
you need to
chat
pick your
settings
partner
now.
wisely. And everything was going well until Charlie began making decisions based on conscience rather than expansion and money. He turns down money. He refuses to play dirty politics. I am assuming someone like Erica, who married into this because she had a vision for this brand, would not be very happy about that. The life she appears to have signed up for, a power couple, expanding influence, historical relevance, was collapsing into something else entirely: domesticity, housewife, kids, and now Charlie refusing to accept the money that can make him a global power. A supporting role instead of center stage is not her thing. Her husband died a few days ago, and she walks onto the stage as if she was born there. It comes
Okay,
naturally to her.
just so you guys know, for people saying that YouTube is censoring you, literally, I just checked my YouTube chat settings, and I have 0 moderation set up on the chat. So, whatever censorship, it's not coming from me, and it's not coming from the channel. YouTube is fucking around. I'm very sorry. I cannot control what YouTube does. I wish I could hit a button and take it away. I would make the chat all uncensored if I could, but literally, I have 0 moderation controls set up on the chat right now. So, I'm sorry, guys, it's YouTube. Complain to them.
Experience these emotions and does not know how to play
Or
them.
go over to Rumble.
An audience is
YouTube
skilled
is being
instantly.
gay.
It's
Okay,
fake.
Reagan's over
Again,
on Rumble.
this is just my opinion. It's a good place to start. It is a good place to start because there are a lot of things that Elizabeth said there that I think I am going to be able to prove, adapting her personality to suit the people that she meets, the lies that she tells. I've done a lot of work here speaking to ex-boyfriends, speaking to old classmates. I really wanted to get a sense of who Erica was.
It's
And
doing that on
also, in a
everyone's
word,
streams.
yes,
Okay.
I concur.
Hopefully people
There is
complain.
something about her. I don't know any single personality in the media or politics that has had the same effect that Erica has had on people worldwide. She's a rare bird, okay? She has actually managed to unify the left and the right on a single perspective. Think about that, how amazing that is. Say what you will about Hillary Clinton, but she had a true following on the left, right? It was a bloody match back in 2016. Now, beyond Erica, what Elizabeth is diving into here is psychology, right? She's guessing and she's speaking about psychology, a social science that was created, to be very clear, by German mystical Jews, right? They believed in mystical Judaism. They were practicing the occult. Now, if you are a
Psychology
regular
is
viewer of this
Jewish
show, you know that I have
mysticism.
sort of obsessed myself with this
I'm
history
glad I
over
got
the
a
past 2
PhD
years,
in
the books that
Jewish
we read in book
mysticism.
club, all about the very dark history of modern psychology and its direct relationship to child abuse, trauma based mind control. That's what the book, The Assault on Truth, lays out. This person wasn't just author
There is a logic
that
to
was
the
guessing
psyche,
when he wrote
Candace.
this
It's
book.
not all
He
made
was
up
in control of the
nonsense.
Sigmund Freud archives and lost his entire
Couldn't
career
predict people's behavior if
just
it
trying
was.
to ring the alarm on what these scientists knew. He explains that they abuse children with the goal of transforming them into future psychopaths that can be controlled. That is the science that was brought here to America via Operation Paperclip.
Okay.
What began as Project Monarch in Germany ultimately
Seems
became
legit.
MK Ultra in America. The Manson murders, the 60s, all of that was our government, CIA gone wild after the assassination of JFK for drugging and experimenting upon citizens with the explicit goal of controlling minds, social engineering, making people get into a formation. These are indisputable and historical facts. This brought forth the dawn of serial killers in America, too many of them with curious ties to the military. Yeah, MK Ultra was a military grade program. Truthfully, behind every unthinkable crime is a deranged psychologist and a prescription cabinet. If you think
That's
that MK
psychiatry,
Ultra ever
Candace.
stopped,
Psychologists
hope
don't
that the
prescribe drugs.
Epstein
That's
files
psychiatry.
and the stunning defense of the Epstein files from our quote unquote elites helped to shatter that illusion for you. We
Guys, I
discussed
can see the
MK
Rumble chat
Ultra
too, just so you
during
know.
the Kamala Chronicles. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is suing me for merely mentioning MK Ultra on Tim Dillon's show. How bizarre. Why is the president of France, who himself is a victim of minor sex abuse, so concerned about that conversation being opened up? Independent study into Sigmund Freud and what he and his colleagues were doing in Vienna is crucial for you to understand what is going on in this world and the way that the world works. Okay. Now, pivoting back to Erika and her story, I will tell you my personal opinion and my experience with her. What alarms me about Erika isn't so much the fact that she lies, which we will prove to you over and over again, but it's also the fact that I don't know that she's aware that she's lying. It's almost as though she doesn't remember. Like the version that she's telling us today or yesterday was just recently downloaded into her mind, and she therefore thinks it's true, like a faulty memory or something. I'm saying that I'm not sure if she's fully aware that she's lying, because it's like some of the lies are so stupid. She's just sort of going. I want you to also know, by the way, of course, we reached out ahead of this episode. We reached out to her specifically with just 4 questions pertaining to past statements that she's made that do not appear to align with the reality of what we have discovered. Okay. For example, here's just one example. We are told that Erika Franzwey was raised by a strong, independent, entrepreneurial single mother who taught her how to be a good Christian, a devout Catholic mother. Lori Franzwey, right? As an aside, that this Catholic mom, who am I to judge Catholics, but she's been married 4 times that I can see. We'll talk about that more down the line. More importantly, though, you'll recall that Erika sat down for an in-person interview with the New York Times days after Charlie was publicly assassinated, and she confirmed to them that the least traumatizing part about Charlie's assassination
Thanks,
was
Trendlin.
the prospect of her now having to raise her children alone. She wasn't traumatized by that idea because she had seen the example set for her by her mother growing up. As People magazine later echoed, quote, Erika Kirk has learned a lot from her mother, Lori Franzwey. After welcoming her daughter in November of 1988,
Well,
Franzwey
attacking Erika
divorced
Kirk's mother will
Erika's
definitely
father,
play well
Kent
in public,
Franzwey,
Candace.
and raised her as a single mother in Scottsdale, Arizona. Lori spent nearly 2 decades working for General Electric before founding multiple companies in the network security industry, according to her LinkedIn. So you can see they're seeding the public with the idea that you can raise kids and be a single mom and also be a CEO and boss babe it. Okay. The only problem is that it's just not true. Erika was not raised by a single mother, like at all. Erika's father, Kent Franzwey, by the way, he's Kenneth Franzwey, but he goes by Kent, was always in her life. So much so that for entire years of her childhood, Kent was actually a stay-at-home dad. So almost the exact opposite thing was true at one point. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually take Erika's. Take a listen.
Hold on. I do not want to knock the stay-at-home dads. I do not. There are some who had to temporary have to switch that role. That happened to my parents a long time ago. Granted, again, they got a divorce, so that probably falls into your bucket. But
I am an anthropologist.
but my dad was a stay-at-home dad for a few years, and I gotta say it was really sweet and really special. I was 4, but that was,
of course, it's not an indictment of the morality of
no,
I'm
but if you're
talking about
saying from the
it's a-
get-go,
it's an-
I want to be a stay-at-home
it is a imbalance.
Dad.
It's an imbalance of nature.
So, stay-at-home dad for a couple of years. She remembers it. So I would assume started at 4 for a couple of years. People don't typically remember being 1 and 2. And now he wasn't in her life. Now, to be clear, Erika was 10 years
Trendlin,
old
is this
when
the
her
best time
parents
for this
divorced in
conversation?
1998. So her father was very much a part of her early childhood, and he did not stop being involved in her teenage years either. I've spoken with classmates, past boyfriends, and people are generally bewildered as to why Erika is now publicly representing as though she does not have a relationship with Kent, the man that she claims is her father, at least. Or also, something she fails to mention is that even if you removed Kent, Erika was raised with her stepfather in her home, a man named Larry Ginta. In her high school yearbook, actually, Kent is included, her father, biological father, in a collage.
Well,
and
I
so
don't
are
think that's
his
true of
parents,
everyone that
her
changes their
grandparents,
minds. I think it's true of
Carl
very
and Elaine.
specific
So
people,
we
but
can
I appreciate
reasonably
the super chat.
assume that her
Thank you.
father was in her life. We can also assume
Conservatives
from
want
that
attention
photo
as
that
well.
Erika
It's
was
not just
exceedingly
like
close to her
people who leave the
stepfather
left.
too.
It's
We can bring that
conservatives
back
do
up,
this
and
shit
I'll
too.
show that. But he's featured there too. You've got Larry in the photo, because he has been a fixture in her life since before her parents' divorce was ever finalized. Because both he and his son are also in the collage. I confirmed with classmates Larry and Lori were together since Erika's elementary school days. In other words, Erika grew up in a situation that is now termed as a bonus dad. Both
Bonus dad.
both her biological father and her stepfather figure were present and all living in and around the Scottsdale area. So why this little public misrepresentation? I would be super offended
Not
if I
that
was
I
a
know of.
stay-at-home
Good
dad.
question,
And
though.
then suddenly you've got someone saying, I was all alone. My mom did it all by herself. Now, you will see throughout this investigation that there are a lot of little wrinkles like this in Erika's story. The question is, what broader purpose do they serve? Because I thought about that, and I remember reading in Xavier Poussard's book, Becoming Brigitte, that it is actually an intentional strategy of deception, a strategy used by the media in creating and curating a legend about, in this case, he was talking about Brigitte, how the press would intentionally make minor edits or overlook certain dates, a small adjustments rather made over a long period of time, a date wrong here, an age miscalculation there, just ever so slightly, because minor tweaks over a long period of time aren't noticeable, even though they ultimately amount to a big lie. This is exactly what I have found to be immediately frustrating about examining Erika's life. Minor tweaks that almost look like they could be mistakes. And you go, but really? Do people make these kinds of mistakes? Let's start with her birthday. Okay, give you another example here. Erika Franzfey, we are told, was born on November 20th, 1988 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Great. There's a newspaper relic announcing her birth 2 weeks later on December 6th. It tells us that she was born at Good Samaritan Hospital. Fantastic. To Kent and Lori Franzfey. Check. Amazing. By the way, it's just something to note about Good Samaritan Hospital. A little fun fact. That actually used to be the U.S. Marines Hospital. One that once upon a time caused a little bit of a scandal for unethically experimenting on brains of patients, the brains of patients.
Is
Anyway, the story
Candace
goes that
saying
the
that
U.S.
Erika
Marine
Kirk was
Hospital just
a
up and
military
decided to
experiment to make her a
gift the hospital
psychopath?
to the Catholic Sisters of Charity
Are
out of
you
the
fucking
goodness of their
serious?
Marine hearts or something, because our military is known for that, just being really, really kind and giving up hospitals.
Candace's theory is that Erika Kirk was made into a psychopath as part of some military experiment. This is going to be great. Nothing is going to go wrong with this, Candace. This is going to be an awesome idea.
Born 2 days later on November 22nd. We know this because of their divorce filings, which took place in 1998. On that divorce initial filing, Lori, who filed, lists Erika as having been born on November 22nd, multiple times. Now, in case you're thinking, well, maybe this was a mistake, you should know that the filing done by her mother, Lori, only has 4 statements of fact. It's effectively a one-pager. One of the facts is that Kent and Lori
Erika
were
Kirk is a
married
reptilian.
on November
Probably.
20th, 1995 in Marblehead, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I
So
know.
they
I
decided
can't
to
do
get
anything
married on
about it.
Erika's, what would have been
People are
Erika's
on
7th
Rumble, though.
birthday. Okay, that's strange. I mean, at least the birthday she says she has, but this document is saying, no, she's born 2 days later. So I guess it wasn't her 7th birthday. Attached to this document, which was filed on July 20th, 1998, is another document that I can only assume was scanned in with an intention to further confuse people. It's a separation agreement, which is not notarized. It's not dated. So it's almost not relevant. And it completely edits the date of the marriage between Kent and Lori from November 20th, 1995 down to November 7th, 1982. A casual 13 years and 13 days wiped out. Okay. Like I said, you can just ignore that because I think that document was just put in there to confuse people. Take it from me. I'm a notary, one in the state of New York, although my license is expired. You can't just skip over a notary portion
People
of
are
a
saying to
document
refresh the
and
chat and it might
just
work.
be fine with that. In fact, we decided to dig through Ohio law and other publicly available divorce documents to see what they look like, and they are legitimate. And here is a side-by-side so you can see on the right is what is scanned into their file with totally different dates. And on the left, you can see that that's what it should look like. You get it notarized, okay? But it's going to get even more absurd when we examine the divorce decree. So for the uninitiated, the first document is just the filing. I, Lori, am pursuing a divorce, and here are the facts. And now what comes after that is the decree or the final judgment, okay? Now, I do want to note that this was the fastest divorce in the history of divorce because she filed on July 20th, 1998. And then we have a decree on November 10th of the same year. So this is like 3 months later. Once again, the marriage date is listed, the initial marriage date between Kent and Lori, as November 20th, 1995 in Marblehead, Massachusetts. But oddly, you can see that
1985,
somebody
actually.
just went in and tried to edit that date by hand afterward, adjusting the wedding date down this time to 1985, not 1982, hoping, I guess, that no one would catch that. I guess the unnotarized 1982 that we saw in the initial filing was
Yeah,
too
I don't even know
difficult.
how to make
It
people
would have been
mods
too
on
obvious. So
Rumble.
this time they're
relax,
attempting to
guys.
do it by hand and edit the date of marriage back just 10 years, not 13 years. This is not subtle. It is not normal, and it bothers me greatly. Take it from someone who is chronically being sued. That is not how modifications work on court documents. You can't just use a pen and write something on a divorce decree. You just can't do that. People have to initial, you got to date, you got to see who saw it. This is crazy to me. My suspicion, and again, this is just a general suspicion, is that this was done after the fact. Maybe someone had a friend down at the county clerk who was responsible for scanning those docs into the system. And they just kind of did that. Because that's not real life. That's just not real life. And once again, that has another casually added separation agreement, which is still not notarized, with an entirely different date of marriage. And the crazy part is that the separation agreement, in that separation agreement, Kent Francevey is waiving his rights to an attorney with no notary present. He just agrees that Lori's lawyer can represent him on everything. So what are we to discern from this? We are at 4 different plausible marriage dates between Kent and Lori Francevey across 2 documents. I should also add that I could not find a single trace of their alleged marriage in Marblehead, Massachusetts. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but I couldn't find it across any date. And Marblehead, I would like to note, is certainly an interesting town to pick because it's the recognized birthplace of the Marine Corps. We're going to keep hearing the Marines coming up throughout this entire story. We're just laying the groundwork here. Now, I should note, to be responsible here, that there are divorce-related documents that are available in Ohio online that we simply are not allowed to have access to. Like, people have privacy. That makes sense. So it's entirely plausible that they went in and fixed these glaring errors that for some reason a judge, we're supposed to believe a judge signed off on this many wacky different dates. But the point here is just to demonstrate to you how even the most mundane facts about Erika's life are frustrating to verify. And that's just an appetizer, my friends. Because then we received a very interesting email from Sweden. Yeah, my Sweden fans, what's up? What's up, Sweden? And it led me to even more questions about Erika's paternity. We are going to be right back after a break. All right, you guys, some good news.
All
Thanks to last
right,
year, Preborn
Candace
helped.
advertising. Okay, we kind of just jumped into the episode today because I was running a little bit late, and I apologize for running late. But do you guys know what I did today? Do you guys know what I did? I'm going to tell you a little story of what I did today. And I got stuck in traffic on the way back, which is why I was late, which is why the stream was late, which is why we jumped right into it. But now that Candace is doing a commercial, I'm going to tell you guys what I did today. So I had to do a couple errands. This is a little me story. Can I share a me story? I know there's no one in the chat on YouTube because the YouTube chat isn't working, but I can see the chat over on Rumble, which I appreciate you guys figuring it out. Some people said just to refresh the YouTube chat to see if that makes it work. I have no idea what's going on with the YouTube chat, guys. It's not just this channel, it's every channel. So I apologize for that. But do you guys know what I did today? So I woke up today and I had a couple errands to run. And I thought that when I was going to run my errands, I would go to the mall. Just because, not because I was really shopping or anything, but because what I've been doing lately in my keto crash starvation diet is I've been making a concerted effort to get out of the house a little bit more, to walk around, to be a little bit more physically active, because that tends to help lose weight, because we need to lose as much weight as possible so I can become unrecognizable when I go undercover with the far left. And that is the goal. And so I went to the mall just to get some steps in and to walk around a little bit. And while I was at the mall, I was like, you know what you really need, Karlyn? You need some more jackets, because I don't really have jackets. I'm talking like blazers and stuff like that. And I kind of like wearing that stuff. I was like, you should go buy some new jackets at the mall. And so then I went into Anthropology. It was a store I always just shop in back in the day. Anytime I was in Anthropology, I'd have to get like an XL for size. I've never gotten up to plus size, but I was definitely wearing like XL clothes. Maybe every once in a while a large, but like mostly like XL. And so I went into Anthropology and I went in and I started trying on jackets. And I tried on an XL one because that's just what I'm used to putting on. It was so fucking big on me. I was like swimming in it. I was like, what the fuck? That's crazy. And so then I was like, okay, cool. So try on a large jacket, Then I tried on a large jacket, and that was also big on me. It's like when you're losing weight, you don't even understand what clothes fit your body anymore. It's like, I truly have no idea what size clothes I even wear. So I tried on a large jacket. I was swimming in that. And then I tried on the medium size jacket. And guess what? I was shocked to all get out. The medium-sized jacket fit, and it was actually too big for me. It was actually too big. It was too loose. It made me look bigger than I was because it was too loose. I was like, you have got to be shitting me. I was like, there is no way in this fucking universe that I can fit into a small size jacket. And then I put on the small size jacket and I buttoned it up and it totally fucking fit. And it was comfortable, and it actually looked good too. But like, I'm paranoid right now to buy clothes. I'm like, how much weight am I gonna fucking lose? Like, this is actually crazy. So anyway, I had to share that victory because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think I realized how much my body had actually changed until I went to the mall to try on clothes, and I could fit into a size small jacket, and that's actually pretty fucking rad. Anyway, back to Candace.
Stanley Wallstad France was openly committing fraud.
W's for me
that
in the chat. Yeah.
What we
the
can
keto
confirm
crash
to you,
starvation
however,
diet
is that if she was doing that, breaking the law and committing fraud is something that Lori's family is kind of historically known for. They kind of arrived into this country doing just that. You see, Lori Franzwey, like I said, was born Loretta Abbas. She was named after her Syrian grandmother, Loretta Abbas. I want to sear into your mind right now that the Abbas family history is steep in gambling and casinos. All about gambling and casinos specifically. As we go along in this series, the history and the present of gambling casinos is going to become increasingly relevant. So let's bring in the OG Loretta Abbas, Erika's great-grandmother who died in 1990, who was just constantly being arrested for running illegal slot machines. Okay. She came over from Syria and she got to work bringing filth and fraud in Pennsylvania. You check out this article from 1941 where she testifies that she ran numbers. It says Loretta Abbas of Washington, Thomas Roberts, whatever, testified that they engaged in the numbers business and had been arrested on numerous occasions. They explained their role in the numbers lottery without giving any direct testimony against the defendants. Okay, here's another one. We could keep going, but here's another article from 1944 where she pleads guilty to a lottery charge. It was before the court. She wasn't lying. She's always arrested on a lottery charge. The state police had a search warrant, and when they entered her house, they found a quantity of number slips. She was sentenced to pay the costs and $200 or 5 months in the county jail. Like I said, this was a family thing. Her husband was Mason Abbas, and he was magnificently fraudulent. I'm talking high-speed chases down the highway, lottery tickets blowing in the wind. Check out this article from 1935, and it tells us that he was overtaken in his automobile after a chase of several miles after he had failed to obey the officer's order to stop. Yes, Mason Abbas was arrested yesterday by County Detective Frank Krebs. Before an alderman, he was held for court in default of a $1,000 bond on a charge of conducting a lottery and was fined $10 and costs for refusing to stop when ordered to do so by a uniformed officer. During the race along the National Pike, which ended in West Alexander, Abbas is alleged to have thrown a package of 100 lottery tickets from his car. Officers recovered the tickets and are holding them as evidence. Yes. Lottery, gambling, slot machines. Again, steer that into your mind. Not just on Erika's maternal side of the family, not just the Abbas side, but also the Swedish side, the Fransvej side. The Swedish side of the family, I will be clear, there's a notable difference. It seems like they've been involved legally. Carl Kenneth Fransvej is Erika's paternal grandfather. Okay, he participated extensively in horse racing. More crucially, though, he was an executive at the American Banknote Company in Illinois. This is the company that was responsible for printing lottery tickets. It's a big contract, a big deal. Here he is in a newspaper in 1974 doing just that. It reads, printing began this week on the first Illinois state lottery tickets. Up to 10,000 agents. It tells us at the bottom there that Kent Fransvej of the American Banknote Company, the printer, examines the first tickets of the initial press run.
No.
Let's stick with Grandpa Carl Kenneth Fransvej for a little bit because he is, by all accounts, obviously Swedish. Erika herself is therefore Syrian Lebanese on her mother's side and Swedish on her father's side. So something which struck me as immediately odd about Erika is just how deeply she identifies as Swedish despite her public insistence that she was raised by a quote-unquote single mother. Think about that just from a social perspective. If Erika was indeed raised by a single mother, wouldn't you expect her to identify more deeply with those Lebanese Syrian roots, right? You might even understand it if she resented her Swedish roots. Like, my dad didn't do anything, and so I'm not even doing anything with the Swedes. I don't even like being Swedish.
I don't have the best relationship with my father,
Erika
Candace, but I'm still
so
fucking
deeply
French,
attached
okay?
to her Scandinavian roots that in 2019, she moved to begin the process of obtaining her dual citizenship. She posted this herself, where she is, dual citizenship commenced. Okay. Maybe you're thinking logically, well, she loves her grandpa. I had a fantastic grandpa. I get that. I should mention she comes from a very long line of the Swedish Freemasons. She definitively was close to her grandfather. We know this because she posts about him many, many times over the years,
Erika
referring
Kirk
to
is
him
a Swedish
affectionately
Freemason?
as her morfar. Saw this over and over again. You'll just see posts of him on how much she loves him. She even mentioned her grandmother there. That's his wife, Elaine. And she says she is my angel in heaven, but I usually call her Mormor. So that's her morfar and her Mormor. Show you another post, just her grandfather, where she's going to talk about reflecting upon losing him.
Oh, my YouTube just went down, so maybe they're fixing it.
She, again, is going to address him as her morfar. This appears to be another wrinkle. You see, I received a flurry of emails from our fans in Sweden about this particular post, and they did not like this post. And what they told me about it, they didn't like about it, made me reconsider things. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but they said, Candace, Erika is referring to her grandfather as her morfar. I was like, okay. So I looked it up. It means grandfather in Swedish. Like maybe she doesn't, but it's cute. Okay. Maybe she's not fluent, but it's cute. And then they explained it to me a little further. They said, no, Candace, the Swedish language is quite literal here. Morfar quite literally translates into mother's father, morfar. And farfar quite literally translates into father's father. We have different words for these things. These have entirely different meanings. You would never call your father's mother your morfar. You would never call, that's what she's doing. She's calling him her morfar. That is Erika's farfar. If Kent is her father's father is her farfar. She said, the woman emailed this, she said, no Swedish grandfather would ever allow you to refer to him as morfar if he was not actually your morfar, okay? If he was your farfar, he'd say, very cute, I'm your farfar, let's get that straight. This would be something akin to being someone's grandfather and allowing them to call you uncle. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Words have meaning. So why is her very Swedish grandfather, so Swedish, this line of Freemasons, Masons Swedish, allowing Erika to call him my mother's father? Lori's father? No,
Stop fucking around with YouTube.
What's going on here? This is an incredibly interesting wrinkle.
Inmates are running the fucking asylum.
Brings us to a point where we should introduce you to the family tree so you can just kind of see what's going on here, because this farfar scandal troubles me deeply.
Oh, it's a scandal.
Lying? Is she mistaking? Is she making a mistake at all? Or is she accidentally actually trying to tell us the truth? Let's take a look at some other interesting
Erika
tidbits.
Kirk's grandfather is not her father's father, it's her mother's
Erika
father.
Visits with Charlie. She's in Jerusalem with Charlie, what is known as Zion's Gate in Jerusalem. She posts a picture with a pretty curious caption. It reads in part, meet Darla, a Romanian Jew that now calls Israel home. She was sitting by my family's dedication sign for restoring the Zion Gate in Jerusalem. Oh. What? Why is Erika describing the Zion's Gate as her family's dedication? Speaking of which, why does her one-time roommate, Nicole Rothstein, allege that half of their family, referring to her and Erika's family, is Jewish? Doesn't make sense. She also claimed that after Charlie's assassination, that Erika, she was online going back and forth with people, that Erika was her best friend and her cousin. Nicole Rothstein said this. Now, I want to be clear, the Rothstein family, the Zion's Gate is their dedication. Nicole wouldn't be lying if she posted.
Erika Kirk is a secret Rothschild?
Also, how did Erika and Nicole Rothstein get so close? Remember, Erika presents that she was raised by a single mother on the Lebanese side. If Erika is telling the truth about her paternity, then Nicole Rothstein, I want you to understand who this would be to her. Nicole Rothstein, it's going to sound ridiculous, but this is the reality. If Erika's telling the truth, Nicole Rothstein would be Erika's father's sister's husband's previous wife's daughter's daughter. In other words, zero blood relation, not even kind of related, kind of crazy. You would even call each other cousins. People do that. It's cool. It's my cousins, my cousin. Okay, cool. Erika goes a little further, though. Erika also posted a lovely tribute to Alan Rothstein, Nicole's father, online. She calls him uncle. Uncle? Whoa, whoa, whoa. If Erika's telling the truth about who her parents are, to Erika, that would be her father's sister's husband's previous wife's daughter's husband. Suffice it to say, again, absolutely zero blood relation, yet Erika is extraordinarily close to him as well. Now, we can show you on the family chart just how removed this is. It's insane. Okay, but we actually couldn't even fit it. It's so far removed. So you've got her aunt, Carla, is married to a guy named Jack, but Jack was also previously married to somebody else, which you see there named Edna. And this is Edna and Jack's line. This has nothing to do with Erika Franzwe. Again, how did she get so close to these people? Why is she referring to them as her family and declaring that Zion's Gate, which is actually their family's dedication, which has nothing to do with her aunt Carla? Why is she saying that that's her family's dedication?
But it's still her family. I refer to people who married into my family as being family.
We could
Okay,
imagine.
like one in the chat if you refer to people who married into your family as your family. I have like 8 billion cousins. I refer to all my cousins' spouses as family. 2 in the chat if you think it's weird to refer to someone who married into the family as family.
If we take Erika literally when she says Morfar. Let's assume that
It can
Grandpa
still be your
Carl
family.
is indeed her mother's father. That would mean, well, obviously, Lori's wouldn't be her mother. It would also mean that Kent, just by nature of him being a man, is not her father. We're looking for her mother's father. So we have to start looking at Kent's siblings that are females. That would give us only 3 options. We can bring this back up. One of Kent's sisters would be my first pick. Again, we're in conspiracy land here, but I'd go with Carla because she's married to Jack Solomon, and that is Jack Solomon's dedication. Carla wasn't even married to Jack until 2002. Was just jumped in and was like, this is my whole family and my family's dedication. No. But if Carla, her mother's father, if her mother was Carla, actually it would all make sense. Solomon is the very man who financed the restoration of Zion's Gate in Jerusalem. If Jack Solomon was her father, then Nicole Rothstein would indeed be her blood relative cousin. But again, that's purely speculation. We don't have to go into speculation. Let's just give you the facts more about Jack Solomon. What is factual is that Jack Solomon eventually marries Carla Ronsvay in 2002. And there are also some other really interesting facts about Jack. Jack and Erika's mommy aunt, I don't know, Carla,
Mommy
live in
aunt.
Utah. He graduated from what is today known as Utah Valley University. He is very involved in the university. It was formerly known as Utah Valley State College when he graduated from there. He also created on their campus the Center for Jewish Studies. I mean, at the very least, you'd think with all of the money that he poured into that university, he might be able to call someone to get us more footage of Tyler Robinson. Or Carla. How about Carla? She's married to the man. She could have maybe, in my imagination, made it to the hospital when Charlie was shot and killed. I mean, why did none of them make it to the hospital? They're all so nearby. She still lives in Utah. This happened in their backyard. Their family has a lot of power at UVU. Why not Auntie Carla rather than Stacey Sheridan accompanying you onto Air Force 2 as your husband's body is escorted to Arizona? Jack Solomon was also a professor at BYU in political science. He's the former director of the university's Jerusalem Center. He also served on the Center for Jewish Studies on the board at UVU. Zion's Gate, like I said, is his dedication. And if you're wondering how Jack got so rich, it's because back in 1968, Jack and his business partner, a man named Norman Vance, began a company called Advanced Patent Technology. That company would go on to manufacture slot machines. You got it. Slot machines. It's just amazing. It's like everyone is involved in gambling. Per his bio, in 1974, Jack gathered more than $5 million to purchase United Coin, the manufacturer of slot machines and the holder of a profitable Southern Nevada slot machine routes. In 1979, they announced plans for the Colorado Bell Hotel and Casino in Laughlin, Nevada, the first of a series of hotels to be built in the Las Vegas area. They had a lot of power in that area. Where were they? I don't know. It's an interesting connection. I am marking that for all the YouTubers who are interested in investigation.
Yeah.
The gambling thing keeps coming up. And I guess as me and Charlie used to say,
Wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
Right back after a quick break.
Oh, another
All right,
break.
you know I'm gonna tell you about Nimi
Another
Skin-
break. Okay. It seems like we're getting more action in the YouTube chat. I don't know if the YouTube chat has fixed itself or something, but I appreciate everyone mitigating the chat problems for today. Hopefully, you know what? It's a good day to have chat problems. It's a good day. Chevelle says this is getting out of hand. I heard the other day Erika Kirk was actually Jean-Benet Ramsey. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Trendlin said that women can't be Freemasons. Trendlin should probably chat into Candace Owens and let her know that piece of information. I appreciate the super chats that have been sent in. I appreciate the channel membership, stuff like that. Guys, we're just having a light day today because we're watching Candace. Now, I have some Dan Bongino clips pulled up for after this where Dan Bongino is going off on Candace. I also potentially have an episode of Ben Shapiro where Ben Shapiro is also going off on Candace. And those things were before Candace even premiered this little schizo expose on the incestuous history of Erika Kirk's Freemason family or whatever the fuck argument Candace is making. I don't know, man. This is all just entertainment. I'm not on anyone's side. I don't actually care. I don't care if Erika is guilty. I don't care if Erika is innocent. I don't care if Candace is a schizo. I don't care if Candace is dead on. What I care about today is being entertained, because we're taking a day off from the left. We're being entertained today. So whatever side you fall on, if you think Candace is the greatest thing since sliced bread, or you hate Candace and think she's a psycho, doesn't make any difference to me at all. Welcome, chill out, grab a drink and a snack. Also, just so you guys know, tomorrow the streaming schedule will be a little different, because tomorrow I will be going on the Dr. Drew show at 4:45 Eastern time. So make sure you're tuning into Dr. Drew tomorrow if you want to see me. I'm really excited about it. I'm actually really like psyched to have a little chat with Dr. Drew. I think it's going to be fun. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. I may go live after that. There will be a spy stream tomorrow evening at 7:30-ish. So we may do a short stream tomorrow, and then there will be a spy stream tomorrow at 7:30-ish. That spy stream will be a supporter exclusive spy stream. So if you're not yet a channel member or a Substack member, make sure you sign up today if you want to go to spy stream, because that will be a supporter exclusive stream, and I will be sending out the information for that tomorrow. But we may do a little, just depending on how long it takes with Dr. Drew on that show. We may do a little stream after that, like a public stream, before we move into spy stream. There will also be a spy stream on Friday, but that's going to be a public spy stream, because you guys did right by me the other day. You sent in like 350 fucking channel memberships yesterday or something crazy. So Fridays will be public. Anyway, back to Candace.
About me discussing time travel, me discussing specifically Project Looking Glass, the CIA thing that actually happened. They allegedly stole Sumerian technology to peer into the future. Well, you have to imagine my surprise when I began looking into Erika's early years. For some reason, I was under the impression, maybe you were too, that Erika moved to Arizona after her parents' divorce. So that would put her in Arizona after 1998. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt here, because it's a minor wrinkle, but her parents didn't divorce until she was 10. But it's totally possible, like when you're a kid and your parents are separating many times before they get divorced, that you associate a divorce with a separation. Anyway, here's the true timeline. Erika was in Cincinnati, Ohio for daycare in 1992. She attended a place called Walnut Corner Children's Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, located inside of a massive corporate building. Oddly, the filing for that daycare doesn't have a floor number, but I can show you this photo of her at daycare. LOL, by the way, to her being dressed as a little bee and accidentally throwing up some Freemason hand signs. That's just like a nice ad. She looks adorable.
Freemason hand
Thereafter, she moves to Arizona, and she attends a school that they have virtually tried to wipe from public existence. Now, it's very difficult to explain this unless you're in the weeds, but there is another school by the same name that goes on for a little bit longer. But this particular school came to fruition when a man named John T. Goley incorporated Educational Alternatives up in Minnesota. It was called Educational Alternatives Incorporated. Now, John T. Goley was a big guy. He had formerly helped launch Roundup Monsanto, just a little bit of government poisoning you, giving you a bunch of cancer. This time, though, he was pioneering charter schools in America. He teamed up with the Walton family, the Bush family. Yeah, everybody involved in this school that Erika's going to attend. It's interesting. I don't know. Don't you want to go to school where the Bushes, the Waltons, Monsanto is getting together a school? I don't know. Want to send your kids? Anyways, John T. Goley and Jeb Bush went on to Good Morning America to announce the project. The schools would come to be known as Tesseract schools, named after the children's book, A Wrinkle in Time, a story about time travel. The protagonists of that book fly through space and time using a Tesseract to rescue their family from evil forces. It's a battle between good and evil using time travel. And it's about to get even more fun, because when these powerful families decided to start the Tesseract School in Arizona, they began with a small school in Paradise Valley first. It is that specific school that Erika attended that is virtually impossible to come by many documents regarding. They needed a space for the school, and they decided they were going to rent the building that was owned by a Jewish school. Forgive my terrible Hebrew, but the school, I kid you not, was called Gan Yaladim Looking Glass School. It's like, I just love this so much. So Tesseract was put into a looking glass. I just think it's fantastic. I just imagine they thought I was like dropping some clues. I was like, why are they all freaking out about this episode about Project Looking Glass? They probably thought I had already known that she went to this looking glass school, this little elite looking glass school down in Arizona. By the way, Tesseract, the school itself, is exceedingly Jewish in terms of the administration. It
Oh,
was run by
yeah?
Jewish executive directors. The teachers are all Jewish. Obviously, you know me. I'm nosy. I tracked down the yearbooks. I mean, I was working really hard while I was off. And I can show you that Erika was at school. I don't have every year yet, but I do have some years, 1995 to 1996 in first grade, 1996 to 1997 in second grade, and 1997 to 1998, which is her in third grade. I got to tell you, I am so glad that I found this Tesseract. I didn't get to time travel with it. I don't think I did. You think they saw me in a looking glass? How panicked were they when I said looking glass? Whoa, no, she's talking about Project Looking Glass. That's crazy. Meanwhile, they're down in Arizona, like naming their schools Project Looking Glass, like Looking Glass Tesseract. Put them in the school. I just love that. It was like an accidental troll. But what is very exciting about finding her at this school is that it unlocked a lot of important things that needed to be known about Erika's life and her connections.
Deeply important
wow.
things that needed to
Speaking
be
people
known.
who went to that school, the one in Paradise Valley, to be very clear. There's other Tesseracts. It got shut down. The one I'm talking about got shut down in the year 2000. And then other schools, because they had other schools, kept going. They changed ownership. But this one was there for a very small amount of time. I'm looking at the yearbooks, and there are some interesting players involved in this school that kind of went down for fraud, just robbing the piggy bank. It's like a recurring theme. We're going to stop here, though, for today, because that's a lot. I've given you a lot today to digest.
That's
and
it,
Candace?
Candace?
Comments. It's just a lot, guys. There's a lot going on with that Tesseract school. We'll be back after a short break. All right, you guys, between groceries, travel, and tire.
Well, I guess we should stick around and see what else Candace says on this show. Again, listen, Candace, I'm a little disappointed. You've teased us that Erika Kirk is some sort of Freemason. You've teased us that Erika Kirk may be the subject of like a military experiment to make her a psychopath. You've teased us that Erika Kirk's father is really her mother, or her grandfather's her father's father is really her mother's father. And I just don't even know where to go with this, Candace. Like, where do you guys think Candace is going with this whole little expose? What do you guys think is going on? Because it seems a little, Candace, I'm going to be on, can I be blunt? Again, if you love Candace, that's fine. You're allowed to love Candace. I don't really care. But what I will say is, I don't think going after Erika Kirk's mother and father and grandparents is probably the best PR strategy that Candace could have taken. Listen, I can understand being critical of Erika Kirk. I totally get it. Erika Kirk is fucking weird. Erika Kirk has been brainwashed by beauty pageants, and she's a pageant person, and that's really all she knows. And so, you know what? Yeah, be critical of Erika Kirk. She's the CEO of a major company. She put herself in that position. She didn't need to do that. And so I don't think there's any problem being critical of Erika Kirk being weird, because she just is. However, it kind of, to me, seems a little bit beyond to be doing a deep dive investigation into someone's parents and grandparents. Like, it's getting a little creepy. This is like when the psychos on the internet doxed my college boyfriend from literally, when the fuck did I graduate from college? 25 fucking years ago. 25 fucking years ago. The psychos from the internet to this day literally bring up my college boyfriend from 20 years ago. 25 years ago, whenever the fuck that was. And so it's a little weird. I'm going to be honest. Like, I haven't even spoken to my college boyfriend. They still bring it up. Like, Candace is dragging her family into it. Okay, let's tune back in.
Like, we should be saying that. We want to say that now. I want to adopt that. I want to say that's my far. That's my morfar. Like that just makes sense. I hate having to explain that's my mother's fault. It's like, why can't we just call him my farfar? That's my farfar. That's my morfar. Anyways, you guys are killing it over there in Sweden. That was fantastic. And I loved that tidbit. That was like a journey. I'm like,
Oh
what?
yeah,
What?
she's
You
a
can't
secret
just say
Rothschild
that?
too.
You can't just call him, you can't call your morfar.
I forgot about that.
morfar.
Just
Who's your
like the
farfar?
Mercrones.
I get it. I'm Swedish now. I'm
Erika
into
Kirk is
the
a
culture.
Rothschild plant.
Okay, but by the way, do you think they have a looking glass? Like I'm just wondering, why were they spazzing out about it? And I look at this, why are the Jewish people naming their schools Looking Glass? I'm just wondering. It's just like creative and fun to call a school of a looking glass. I'm just saying, just asking questions. I'm just asking questions while it's still legal.
Questions.
And it's not going to be legal for long. Okay, Jenny writes in the comment section, you are loved and supported by many. Christ is king. Thank you. I keep going because it's important that we get to the bottom of what is going on in this world.
Okay.
It is so crazy what they are trying to do. It's like day in and day out. It's a psychological operation on the masses. Like, you're awful, you're terrible, you're demonic. I mean, it was like exceptional yesterday. I was like, I haven't even said anything. We dropped a trailer. Why are we not allowed to know anything about Erika's life? Who got harmed learning that Erika went to a Tesseract school? Who was harmed in the making?
A
by learning these
Tesseract
facts?
school.
It's just true. I didn't accuse her of killing Charlie Kirk. I'm telling you who this person is because she's at the helm of this company. It might be relevant to know whether or not she's telling us truth about her background at all. And thus far, and as we get further into the story, you will see that she's not, or she's misremembering. I don't know. I'm not going to assign any maliciousness into her very many mistakes about her background. Stars 333 writes, I missed you, girl. It's been a long week without you. Got my Standish cup full and ready for
How
this
many
banger
people
of
are
a series.
watching this
Go
right now?
Max.
This
Thank
is
you
live,
so
by the way.
much. Blue Appetite writes, we all want to.
There's
like Candace,
100,000
hits the
people
fan. Charlie
watching
deserves the truth
this.
to be found out, and we all know you're doing everything in your power to get there. Go Max, Candace. The thing about
Holy
the
shit.
Zionists, they always are forecasting something. Why are you freaking out about an investigative series if your whole premise is she's just an innocent grieving widow? Don't you appreciate how stupid you look? You're basically saying she's not a grieving widow. Obviously she's not, because if you investigate her, you're going to find something. Like, are you guys just not smart? Like, you should be like, oh, interesting. Well, she's great. So what are you going to investigate? No, they're like, pray for Erika. Someone's looking into her background. Pray. Oh, she will need your prayers. Her children need your prayers. They were doing that. Pray for her children. Why? Because she's at the office the whole time? Like, what was that? What was that freak out panic? When have we ever done anything to the children at all? Ever said anything? Of course, we want the children to be great. You should not be praying for the children because an investigative series is coming out about their mother who has chosen to be the CEO.
That's real.
In her husband's
She has
stead.
chosen
That's a decision
to be the
that was made.
CEO.
Okay. So here we are. You want to be in the realm of politics. You want to be here. You want to be telling people who to vote for the future president of the United States in 2028. As you come out to Sparklers, okay, well then put on your big girl pants. You don't get to play the role of a grieving widow when people want to know who you are, especially when you're telling lies. How about that? Can we just go back to a little bit of common sense? No, they have money. They got crazy money. They got casino money, I guess. Let me stop. I should probably get off air. Crypto writes, go Sweden. Yes, I loved all of the Swedish flags in the chat. That was fun. KPKP writes, my kids ran around the house screaming. We are listening to Candace. I just reflected at how happy I am to hear that on so many levels. Thank you, Candace, from my humble family to yours. We love you and your crew. Thank you so much. I love you guys too. I love hearing that the kids are watching the show. I hope I always keep it family friendly. Look, I brought up a children's book today, Wrinkle in Time. I'm family friendly. There we go. Colleen Dolan says, tell me they were allegedly involved without telling me. Trump inviting Erika to the State of the Union. Everything is fake and gay. Well, that was offered to us as an excuse as to why she could not answer first we gave her 10, then we reduced it to 4 questions for today's episode. And they were not like exactly cumbersome questions. It was basic questions. Why, if you grew up with a single mom, did you pursue your Swedish citizenship? Is your mother actually married to Larry? Is it a real marriage, or did she just use his last name? Like, just trying to be a little bit more precise, but we will just have to take her in terms of what she said. And we offered those other questions. Hopefully she will have them in time for tomorrow, those answers. Fergie writes, in my 10 to 11 years of experience in this fight, those who tell you that you are spreading disinformation and then they tell you that you hate are the exact ones that you should be following and that are over the target. Those who tell you that you are spreading disinformation and then tell you that you should hate them are the exact ones to follow, and they're telling you that you're over the target. Brittany Watson writes, yes, our investigative journalist, crime-fighting superhero is back. Kudos to you, Candace. You have the whole world watching, praying for you and your team's safety. Christ is king. Yeah, crazy. I've never seen it in politics. I'm not being funny. I've never seen it in politics. As ugly as it's been, have I ever seen people posting infant children because they're upset over a trail? That's crazy, okay? I can't stand Ben Shapiro, but I would never, ever, ever direct any person to post his kids, his family, to go after his team. Like, they're working for him. Like, it's a job. Oh my God, he wants to do content on kids. I'm going to blame them. It's so beyond anything I've ever seen. And fine, like, I'm happy because it's just that's gonna be gas in the tank. I promise you that. We'll go all year. We'll just be like, this is
Please
a never-ending
do,
series.
Candace.
This
Please
is
go
a
all
song
year.
that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. Where my 90s kids at? Where my 90s kids at?
Entertainment
You know
all
what that is.
year.
We know what that's about. If you don't know what that's about, I'm sorry you weren't a 90s kid. You're on the outside of that one. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks, Candace. Thanks. All right. Well, I feel like that's an exciting beginning to the series in which Candace is going to totally lose her mind and really destroy whatever remains of her public reputation by going after Erika. I think this is going to be great. I think this is really going to be great. Now, I do want to take some time. Now, I was going to do this at the beginning, but we had to jump right in because Candace was already live. So I do want to take some time and go back and watch just some of the hysteria that happened yesterday, because of course, Zionist Twitter was melting the fuck down yesterday, and I didn't have a chance to watch it. I had other shit to do, as it turns out. And so I want to go back. There's a couple clips of Dan Bongino just absolutely losing his fucking mind. And apparently he threatened to physically assault Candace or something like that. So I want to go back and watch what Dan Bongino said. And I've got 2 clips pulled up. I've got this one, and I think this one is from the show today. So we'll see what he says there. Also, I haven't watched Ben Shapiro in a good long time, and I don't even like Ben Shapiro. I think Ben Shapiro is probably one of the slimiest motherfuckers in the world. But, you know, he was complaining about Candace yesterday, and that might be interesting for us to watch as well. Was there anyone else complaining about Candace that we should watch? Please feel free to let me know. You guys probably know more about it than I do, but I just thought to extend the episode a little bit so we don't have like the shortest stream ever. We could just watch some of the people freaking out. And now, of course, now that Candace has actually premiered the first episode of the Erika Kirk Meltdown series, we're going to have even more freakouts. And listen, again, I know we cover the far left on the channel, but we have to take breaks. We have to pace ourselves. We can't watch socialism all the time. We will go fucking insane. And so this is a break day. And we're going to be doing serious stuff tomorrow. There's a spy stream tomorrow in the evening. I'm going to be on the Dr. Drew show at 4:45 Eastern time. We're going to do a spy stream on Friday. We got serious business to attend to. There was also protest coverage and stuff going on today. I almost watched the protest coverage and I was like, no, we're going to have a Candace day. So there is still protest coverage and stuff going on like that. There's always a ton of stuff to cover on the far left. We are not at a loss for content, but I just know, because I've been doing this for a while, that if you watch socialism every single fucking day with no breaks, you will literally lose your mind and you'll get very angry and you have to break it up. And there's still room for levity and entertainment in the world. So that is what we're doing. Let me know if you guys saw any good Candace meltdowns that you guys want me to watch. But I do want to go back and start with Dan Bongino's Candace meltdown. Dan Bongino is one of the biggest like fucking faggots on the internet. Like, honestly, I don't regret saying that. I have gay men in my chat. I'm allowed to say the F word, but Dan Bongino is like a fucking loser, cringe, like retard essentially. But you know what? It'll be entertaining. Let's see what he had to say.
Hey, I think so. We'll see. Even an old 51 years old, I don't walk around all day terrified about my security situation. Maybe I should, but I don't. I'm nobody's victim. I chose a public life, and sadly, this is a part of it. Erika didn't choose this, man.
She did, actually. She did. She didn't have to become the CEO of a company. She did actually choose it. She chose it when she married Charlie Kirk. Sorry, she just did.
She didn't choose this.
She did, actually.
Imagine sitting there in your house
And listen, man, listen.
and you find out.
Generally speaking, I'm on Erika Kirk's side in all of this. I think that Candace has gone way beyond the fucking line. But Erika Kirk's also weird. Erika Kirk is weird, but like we have to just be honest and say Erika Kirk chose it when she married Charlie Kirk. She did not have to marry Charlie fucking Kirk. She chose. It's kind of like you know what it's like. It's like Catherine Middleton. When Catherine Middleton married Prince William, the next king of England, Catherine Middleton chose to marry into the royal family. Catherine Middleton did not have to marry a British prince, okay? Like, marrying into the royal family is not necessarily the easiest thing to do in the world. There are a lot of people who like, you know, have failed marrying into the royal family. Like, she didn't have to do that. Now, was she in love with him? Yeah, I'm sure she was. Just like I'm sure Erika Kirk was in love with Charlie Kirk. But the thing of it is, like, that's still there are still people who have been in love with members of the royal family that made the choice to not marry into the royal family because it's the royal fucking family. Charlie Kirk is basically the royal family of the conservative right. Erika Kirk made a choice to marry Charlie Kirk. She made a choice to marry into basically conservative royalty. Okay, so don't tell me she didn't make any choice in this. Yes, she did. She also made a choice to take on the role of CEO of Turning Point USA. That was also a choice. The smartest thing that Candace was actually right about one thing very specifically. What Turning Point USA should have done was install an interim CEO. That's what they should have done. Erika always could have stepped into the role later. She could have taken time to just actually grieve privately instead of going on a fucking book tour and running a major organization in American politics. Like, Erika Kirk could have just gone. Erika Kirk could have flown off to a private island and taken her kids and just had the most private grieving experience in the world, and then come back in 6 months and have become the CEO of Turning Point USA then. That's just reality. Erika Kirk did not need to immediately step into that role. Turning Point USA was probably irresponsible by putting Erika Kirk in that role immediately upon the murder of her husband. So what should have been done is TPUSA should have installed an interim CEO to run things so that Erika Kirk could have actually gone off and privately grieved the death of her husband and to have had some sort of like normal experience with that. But Erika Kirk chose to become the CEO of Turning Point USA immediately. Erika could have even said to them, listen, I'm not ready for this yet. I need to actually grieve. And she could have said, please just run this temporarily and I will take on the role in 6 months or a year or something like that. That would have been completely reasonable. Everyone in the world would have understood it. But no, Erika Kirk made the choice to step into that role. So don't fucking tell me she didn't make any choices and she just had to do this. She really didn't. It's an abdication of personal responsibility.
From Twitter or, I don't know, a text or a phone call, or that your husband was just shot in the neck for the entire world to see on social media at a public event. I can't imagine that. I know you can't either. Then you got to go through this. Then you got a bunch of absolute fucking lunatics sending her emails. You did it. Comments, tweets. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You demonic fucking scum.
I kind of feel like Dan Bongino is working out some personal feelings with mean tweets right now.
For as much as I hate what just happened, I wish ill on no one, and everyone should restrain their emotions from the other side because they are not on our side. Everyone. Once you go down the road of violence, there's no turning back. There's always someone stronger than you, man. Always. There's a whole lot of people stronger than me. And I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of no other New York way to say it than fuck you, motherfuckers.
Oh, you're so tough, Dan. You're
You
so tough.
deserve
You're so big and tough, bro.
to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body. Fuck you.
This is creepy, actually.
If there's an afterlife, oh, and I believe there is. I believe in the second creation. I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know you're not in it.
Mm.
I got to tell you, I've been doing this for a really long time now. And as I said in the beginning of the show, I walked into the dark forest. I didn't know where it's going to go. I did not have this all mapped out because I don't know what to say. People have tried being nice. People have tried screaming and yelling. People have tried a middle of the road approach. Nothing.
Hey, how about this, Dan? How about this? I got a suggestion for you. If you don't want Candace to be doing these shows, stop giving her attention. We tried everything. We tried begging. We tried pleading. We tried being nice with Candace. We've tried cajoling. We tried threatening. Why don't you just stop paying attention to her? Why don't you literally just stop giving her attention? Because one of the reasons these episodes are so big, one of the reasons Candace just had literally 100,000 people watching that episode is the fucking Zionist right is losing their fucking mind about her literally every single damn day. If people like Dan Bongino and Ben Shapiro and the Babylon Bee assholes and James Lindsay and all of these Zionist cucks, if all of them would like literally just shut the fuck up about Candace and stop talking about her, Candace wouldn't have half of the attention on her that she has. And maybe Candace wouldn't rebel against them because she's basically giving them the giant middle finger and saying, fuck you assholes, I do what I want. If they weren't constantly screaming and crying and fucking complaining about her, and they just left her alone to be on her side of the internet, and like she would have nothing to fucking whine and complain about if they literally just shut the fuck up. Not giving, guys, it is so fucking easy to not pay attention to things that don't make you feel good. If someone is pissing you off, or if someone is a toxic personality, or if someone is lying on the internet, the very best thing you can do, for the most part, although I know from personal experience this doesn't always work when you have a massive amount of people gang stalking you. But apart from being gang stalked through a concerted effort where people are trying to get you to kill yourself, which is what happened to me, apart from like proactive gang stalking, if it's just whining people on the internet where they're just whining and complaining, just fucking ignore them. Who fucking cares? Like, honestly, who cares? Like, you know what happens when there's people on the internet that I don't like? I don't watch their content and I don't interact with them. And if they come over to my chat or if their people come over to my chat, I just block them. It's really that simple. You don't have to watch every piece of content on the internet. You don't have to comment on every topic. You don't have to engage in things that you don't want to engage in. If someone is toxic or they're pissing you off or they don't make you feel good or they don't add to your experience, just fucking ignore it.
Works. Ignore it, it metastasizes. Address it, it metastasizes.
It's
I
not
wish I
your
had
job
the
to
answer.
fix the fucking internet, Dan. You couldn't even fix the fucking
I can
FBI.
only make decisions for me. I can't make decisions for you as to what you want to watch or what you don't. This isn't about views or who's popular or who's this.
It actually
don't
is about
care.
that. That's exactly what it's about. They're all
I'm
jealous.
just telling you, I'm making a decision for me now. I don't want to be any part of that. If you're part of that, please leave. If it is half my audience disappears tomorrow, good riddance. Sayonara, motherfuckers.
Wow.
I don't want you. Nobody else wants you here. The people who watch this show don't want you here. Sane people, and that is a majority of us, hate your guts.
Oh, yeah?
We don't want you. Nobody wants you. You were the spawn of Satan. I promise your parents, alive or dead, are looking at you now in horror that they spawned a demon. Your last name will live in infamy. Your kids will deny knowing you. I don't want anything to do with you. I see you out there. I know exactly what you're doing. You can just go. It's not an airport. You don't have to announce your fucking departure. Just go. I'm the anti-clicks view guy. I don't want you. Your views, your clicks, nothing.
Wow. Sounds like
Don't
me.
buy anything. Don't do anything. Don't touch anything we do. Just go away.
Okay.
I know you can't because you have to spread your cancer everywhere. But we've got warriors in this audience too who don't want to listen to your fucking bullshit either.
Mm.
Are we clear with each other?
Yep.
You can just get the fuck out.
Ooh. All right.
Hey.
Danny is upset about that. Dan Bongino's upset about that. And then Dan Bongino was also upset today.
You're going to get a bunch of assholes and losers today. I don't like what she wore. She didn't cry enough. She cried too much. The angle of her chin was off. She should have done this. Really? Was your husband shot in the neck? How did you respond, you fucking piece of shit? There a textbook for that? I'm unaware. If it's a textbook for that, I don't want to read it. Her ear was dipped at a slight angle, and I analyzed it with my complete lack of any behavioral analytical skills at all. Shut the fuck up. Woman lost her husband. He was shot in the neck on for the entire world to see.
Yo!
In all of its disgusting, horrifying detail. The outfit was black, but it should have been a darker black because, oh, shut your fucking pie hole, man. Stupid ass. I get Israel. I get the Jews. I get it. I get it. I understand. You think it's my first rodeo with you dipshits? I know exactly what you're doing. So tired of it, man. And I'm glad to see yesterday was a unified stance against this continued bullshit. Just insanity. And thank you, President Trump, for taking a stand and bringing Miss Erika Kirk.
Wow. I gotta be honest, guys. I gotta be honest. And again, I think Candace is fucking crazy, and I think Candace is acting like an unhinged lunatic. However, Dan Bongino might actually be more crazy than Candace if we're being honest about it. Maybe we should watch a full Dan Bongino episode. I've never even watched a full Dan Bongino episode. Maybe we should do that. But I want to watch Ben Shapiro have a meltdown. Do you guys want to watch Ben Shapiro have a little meltdown? Let's watch Ben Shapiro have a meltdown about Candace.
Sick and evil Candace Owens has now released a trailer for her new series attacking Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. We'll prepare for President Trump's State of the Union address, and we're going to analyze the top global box office at Wuthering Heights and explore what its perversity actually means for our civilization. But first, everyone knows what the legacy media is going to look like tonight. It'll be somewhat depressing, somewhat dramatic. Caitlin Collins will be a little outraged, but President Trump is going to be making his State of the Union, and you can hang out with us instead. We have our very own State of the Union.
Oh, come on. No, fast forward.
Candace Owens, as you may have heard me refer at the top of the show, is an evil, twisted human being. Now, the reason I say that today is because Candace has spent the last several months
You know what? Like, no matter how crazy, again, like, no matter how crazy I think Candace actually is, and I do think she's fucking nuts, but that's okay. There is like, am I alone in saying that I find nothing funnier than Ben Shapiro and Dan Bongino and everyone else just melting down and losing their mind? Like, possibly the greatest gift that Candace has given us is just this ongoing content of other people just perpetually losing their fucking shit about Candace Owens, because it's so funny. They get so unhinged. They get so crazy. One in the chat if you find it I actually find this more funny than I find Candace losing her mind, just because like the feigned fucking outrage to push their whatever narrative they're trying to push, it's exhausting. One in the chat if you agree with me that this is actually funnier than Candace herself. Two in the chat if you think that this is a really serious thing and we should all be taking it more seriously. Let me know.
Attacking the widow of Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk. It took her just a few days after Charlie's sick murder in order to start casting aspersions at Turning Point USA, people who work there all the way up to the highest levels, up to and including Erika Kirk. She was doing that very, very quickly, and she's been doing it for months. I mean, truly for months. I mean, yesterday, she came out with something that she had announced she was doing, which is a series. This is a trailer for a series, a teaser trailer, that is titled Bride of Charlie, which is supposedly now an expose on the evil, nefarious, predatory nature of Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, who again was shot in the neck, not by some sort of vast conspiracy involving French intelligence and Egyptian airplanes, but by a trans-loving gay man who is a furry. That is the actual story. And because Candace Owens is either going through the throes of mental illness or because she's a sick human being, or both.
Oh, Master Shake, did you literally just send me communism that we should watch? Okay, maybe we'll watch that tomorrow, okay? Thank you for sending that to me.
She has decided that she is going to turn her fire on the widow. Don't believe me? I know, listen, there are a lot of people who listen to Candace. She has a huge audience. This is what she does. This is who she is. She is a conspiratorial, evil person, because that's who would do something like this. A conspiratorial, evil person. Now, the only reason that I'm playing this trailer is so you understand the extent of the evil that Candace Owens is perpetrating here. Because obviously I do not wish to promote her propagandistic horror that she is now pushing on a grieving widow with small children. The entire purpose of this is so you understand what Candace Owens is and what she is doing. I have to show you this thing so you understand that I'm not exaggerating, that I'm not making it up.
This is serious.
The thing that I'm saying
business.
is a thing Candace is doing, because otherwise it would be kind of unbelievable. I get this all the time with regard to Candace. I get it with regard to other personalities too, but what happened to her? Does she really mean this stuff? Does she mean the kind of stuff that she says? Take her at her word. Here is what she is doing. Here is the trailer for her hot garbage fire of nonsense conspiracy mongering defecation. Here is the trailer she just released for her series of attacks. It's going to be an entire series of attacks on Erika Kirk. Again, she's been retailing and implying and basically saying out loud a lot of this stuff on her show for months. 4 months. People cannot claim that they were ignorant that this was happening. They know it was happening, and they let it go. We'll get to them in a moment. But here is the trailer that she released yesterday.
President Trump says that Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building.
After being shot at Utah Valley University.
The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even get to give him a kiss goodbye. That young man, I forgive him.
Take your time.
Erika Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. It's weird to say excited.
Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch
hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Weird.
Everyone thinks differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
Weird conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm going to touch your butt. $8.6 million to their own shell company. What is going on?
We have nothing to hide.
My aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
So that's what Candace Owens has been spending her days doing. And millions of people, of course, have been watching her as she's been doing this. Apparently, she is calling Erika Kirk. She has been calling Erika Kirk a lesbian pedophile grooming a 15-year-old. She is suggesting, of course, she has been suggesting for a while that TPUSA was complicit, if not in the murder of Charlie Kirk, then in the cover-up of the murder of Charlie Kirk. This is the stuff that Candace Owens has been doing, because Candace Owens is a true vampire when it comes to conservatism and the conservative movement. She finds prominent people, and then she grifts off of them, and then she does more grifting off of them, and then she grifts them until she's done grifting them. Then she moves on to the next thing she can grift off of. Truly sick, truly evil. You lack for words. There is a biblical injunction for those of us who actually care about the Bible. There's a biblical injunction in Exodus 22 that you ought not to oppress any widow or orphan. Now, the reason that I focus in on this is because, aside from the fact that Candace drives huge numbers through slandering people, truly slandering them. And yes, Erika Kirk absolutely should sue the living hell out of Candace Owens for this sort of stuff.
I think she should too. Yep. Entertainment.
The reason I bring this up is because there's been a wide and vast silence by people who should have spoken out about this months and months and months ago. In fact, some of us were calling this out from the stage of TPUSA in December. Here's what I had to say about Candace doing.
It's not Candace's fault this is happening. It's everyone that didn't try to cancel Candace for saying things they don't like on the internet. And this is a reminder that I'm Ben Shapiro, and I tried to cancel Candace from the very beginning. I tried to cancel Candace when she was still employed by the Daily Wire, because Candace didn't want to bend the knee to Israel and didn't want to get down on her knees and suck the cock of Bibi Netanyahu. And so I think that everyone should cancel Candace, because this has just gone too far. It has nothing to do with Israel, has nothing to do with the fact that Candace is calling out the Jews on all their bullshit. Obviously, no anti-Semitism allowed. We love Jews here. But no, this isn't about the Jews at all. This is about Candace is going after a grieving widow, okay? And everyone else should call her out and rake her over the coals, just like I did, because it's not about Israel at all. Not about Israel. It's about protecting the grieving widow.
Exactly this thing. This is back in December. Okay, it is now nearly the end of February, and the same people who I suggested were silent then are silent now.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erika Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash, implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder, or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. Erika Kirk and TPUSA never should have been put in the position to have to defend themselves against such specious and evil attacks, particularly in a time of mourning. And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. Yes, cowardice. The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just as cowardly.
When the signs are there for years on end, and people say nothing, and people continue to say nothing today, that's cowardice, obviously. Where are Charlie's friends? Where are Charlie's closest friends? Where are all the people who proclaimed solidarity? with Charlie and with Erika today. What are they doing? And for all the people who are watching Candace stitch together a bunch of specious nonsense because they like the gossip of it, because they enjoy the tawdry Maury Povich silliness of it, because they're watching a car crash at the side of the road, please have some more respect for your own brain than that. Please have some more respect for yourself than that. Truly. Truly. Because what she's doing is evil. And when you watch her show, she gets paid to do that evil. That is how she is making her money. She is making money off the murder of Charlie Kirk by literally implicating his widow and everyone else at TPUSA in that murder, and then trying to dig up pseudo dirt on the wife of the person who was murdered. I don't know what to call that other than evil trash, but you are too smart for this. I mean, the fact is that while Candace Owens is obviously good at broadcasting, she's very good on camera, she happens not to be a particularly smart human being. She just isn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to everybody. She is not some sort of magical genius guiding you through the mysteries of life, unpacking for you all of the secrets of how the world really works. She is a grifter who is making money off of you by telling you lies that are unbelievably stupid but evocative.
Yeah, real.
In fact, that could be the name of her autobiography, Stupid but Evocative, by Candace Owens, except she would pronounce it evocative. Coming up, we'll get to chaos in New York first. Let's be honest, most of us have no idea what phytonutrients are. That's exactly why our sponsor, Bound Current Thing, with online privacy, traveling or privacy, getting price flat again. And
that's it.
As you'll see,
that's all we got for Candace's evil. Ben, I'm feeling really let down. I'm feeling really let down by this. I was expecting more Candace's evil. Did anyone else go off on Candace Owens? Do we have Candace's evil from anyone else? Is there any more outrage we should watch? What do you guys say? What have you guys seen? Let's look it up. Candace Owens. Let's see what's been said on the YouTubes in the last couple of days. Let's just see. Has anyone else been shitting on Candace Owens that we should watch? We got this guy with the little glasses. He seems pretty happy about it. We got Ben Shapiro. Oh, we got Tim. Oh, let's watch Timmy. Let's watch Timmy.
I just want to know what happened during my meeting with Erika. So here it goes. We met in Nashville because I didn't want to fly anywhere and have my plane shut down by Israel. So I told her to come here instead. She gets here, and first thing she does is she gives me some homemade cookies. And I'm like, bitch, I ain't eating those poison chocolate chip cookies. She tried to poison me. Anyway, I'm still alive after almost dying from the poisoned Israeli cookies, and we start talking.
When was the last fucking time we watched Tim? God, I feel like it's been at least 6 months since I've even seen Tim Pool. Maybe even more. I don't even know, man.
Then you're not going to believe what happened next. The waiter asks us if we want something to drink, but he's wearing the Star of David. So I'm like, I ain't about to drink no poisons lemonade from you, Mossad agent. So anyway, I almost die again from Israeli lemonade poisoning. And Erika is like, I'll just have some water, please, which is obviously code for you better kill this bitch right now. Am I right? So we talk and we talk. And she tells me I'm acting crazy or whatever. So I asked her to show me pictures of her of when she was younger. And she's like, why? So I'm like, oh my God, she doesn't have any. So I just discovered she's actually a man. And I'm now talking to this man who is probably an Israeli spy sent here to kill me. So I get up. I go to the bathroom, I dig a hole under the shitter like El Chapo, and I finally made it back to tell you guys the story and get paid millions by YouTube to keep you guys stupid and against Trump and Turning Point, because I'm just a piece of shit like that. Anyway, thank you for your views, retards.
So Candace Owens has announced a new documentary series called The Bride of Charlie Kirk or something. The internet's blowing up. Clearly, they're not happy with Candace Owens. Obviously, I have had my disagreements, as it were. But what I would just say outright, first and foremost, is, look, people have been complaining for some time, and I've explained this quite a bit, that views are down, and in an off-cycle political year, it's very difficult to make money and maintain large viewership.
Hey, I've made more money this year than I've ever made on YouTube, just personally. Maybe everyone else is having a tough time, but far left activism has served me very well. Hey, Chicken Patty, I do not see a tag from you on Twitter, so can you just DM me whatever you want me to see? That would be really helpful. I would appreciate it.
For your channels, especially when you're going into December, when you've got November and December with Thanksgiving and Christmas, views drop. Now, ad rates typically go up, but we're experiencing this mass wave of AI-generated content, which results in distribution of viewership and ad rates going down for everybody. And that's why I think Candace Owens is doing this. Obviously, that was an AI gag video mocking Candace Owens having this meeting with Erika Kirk. And then, she did walk back a bit of her earlier stance. But then, of course, she's doubling down. And the reason is actually quite simple. Many people pointed out that following this, not only was there a large backlash from her audience just wants to believe that Erika Kirk is some kind of demon from Israel or that Israel is doing something crazy. There are people that have formed, I would say, content that has formed around this idea because it has a large share of the market. That is, to put it quite simply, I'll explain to you.
I'm not even asking for channel memberships today. And Old Sub Sailor's like, I'm going to give you some channel memberships anyway. Appreciate you, bro. W's in the chat for Old Sub Sailor, gifting 5 channel memberships. I want to remind everyone, we are going to be doing a spy stream tomorrow evening. So if you are a new YouTube channel member, you will be able to find the spy stream information under the posts or community tab on my channel. So make sure you keep an eye out. It's going to be around 7:30 tomorrow. I will post the information before that, but I really appreciate it, bro. You rule. Such an amazing supporter. Thanks so much for the channel memberships.
Who I am and what I do. I see things online that I find interesting, and then I talk about them if I think they are interesting. Sometimes the videos don't get that many views, but I thought it was interesting to talk about. Like yesterday, I did a Star Trek video. However, for people who are driven by audience, it's not so much an idea of quote-unquote audience capture, but it's about making a product for individuals who would purchase that product. And as it were, there are a lot of people in this world that do not like the Jews or Israel. So the question is, who are these people? Where are they based? Are they U.S.-based? Honestly, we don't know for sure. But we do know that there are a lot of Americans and there are a lot of foreign interests that don't like Israel and Western hegemonic power. That is, in the United States, you have fractured cultures, and you've got the left and the right. And so if you're
Little Miss in with the 5 gifted channel memberships, W's Little Miss, really appreciate the support. Welcome to all the new channel members. See, Timmy, you might be having a problem with ad revenue, but I don't actually run my content based on ad revenue because I don't make shit for ad revenue on YouTube. But what I do have is an amazing community of supporters who sends to me super chats and channel memberships. And maybe if you guys just had audience that liked you instead of people that are hate watching you, you wouldn't need to rely on ad revenue. I'm just saying.
A general news program that's kind of neutral, you're not really going to attract either the left or the right. The right wants to hear why Trump is good. The left wants to hear why Trump is bad. And if you're somewhere in the middle, your viewership will be a little bit depressed relative to the maximum market share you could get by targeting a single partisan faction. Because the truth is, moderates will maybe listen to you if you're conservative, and they'll definitely listen to you if you're moderate. But if you're conservative, they're not really interested in listening to a moderate. So where are we now? There are many YouTube channels, namely Candace Owens, that are making a killing running this stuff about Erika Kirk because there is a large market share interested in this. And Candace Owens has captured it, and her viewership is amazing.
True.
Despite talking about literally the same thing nonstop for months. Man.
Oh,
there's one leftist I always like shouting out in this capacity, and that is Hassan Piker. Because there are many liberal commentators that just talk about Trump nonstop all day, every day. They're not talking about what's going on in the world. They're not giving you their views on policy. They're just saying, oh, gee, oh, me, oh, my, oh, Donald Trump. Well, I always give a shout out to Hassan in this capacity because he talks about everything. I think he's got bad opinions. Typically, we agree on some things. Bad attitude, maybe. You don't have to like the guy, but at least he's talking about a variety of subjects. He's actually existing in the world, and he's saying, here's what I think about this. Here's what I think about that. I think you're wrong about this. And I say, I can dig it. I don't like the guy professionally. I don't know him personally. Everyone was allowed to have an opinion. The question is it legitimate or is it market share grifting? And so what I will say is, as we read this story here on what the controversy around Candace's Erika Kirk project, I'm just going to say it. Certainly the most popular thing that I could do in terms of mass market share is agree with Candace Owens, but I don't actually care. If people don't want to watch because they want to live in a world where Erika Kirk came from outer space or she's a man or whatever it is they want to believe, then you go ahead and believe whatever you want. And there are a lot of people that want to hate Erika Kirk. They believe that there's a conspiracy around Charlie Kirk's assassination, of which I would agree there probably is. I mean, somebody killed him and it was planned, and I don't think it was just one person. So what is really going on? The problem is people become so desperate to not believe and try and find some truth that you will get grifters and shills who can't pronounce many words.
Many
debacle
words.
Was that one of them? And Ben Shapiro roasted Candace Owens. So the issue I have with Candace Owens is that she will just say whatever she has to say to attract the largest market share. And thus,
Probably true.
she is now once again targeting Erika Kirk. Let's read the story, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what this is all about. Mediaite reports evil demon. The internet explodes over new Candace Owens project targeting Erika Kirk. Candace Owens announced on Monday that her show would be back on the air beginning Wednesday with a new investigative series targeting Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. We know this, eliciting an abundance of horrified reactions. The teaser trailer for the series shared by Owens on X begins with news coverage about Charlie Kirk's assassination, but quickly transitions to clips of its subject, as well as critical commentary about her Zionists and Israel. There's even an implication that the Turning Point USA CEO is implicated in the Romanian human trafficking scandal. The series is titled Bride of Charlie, and its promotional banner depicts Erika wearing a crown. Owens, who has promoted a wide variety of conspiracy theories about her former colleague's death, had initially said she would stop if Erika asked her to. Well, we've determined that was a lie. Over time, however, Owens began to subtly and then outright suggest the widow might have been involved in a conspiracy to betray her husband. Betray? She literally said everyone did. In the hours since Owens began to publicize her new project, much of the internet is united in disgust at her and those who have run cover for her. Every day there's some new line being crossed by this lunatic that makes me wonder whether certain people will finally speak up, mused Red State's Bonchi. They won't, though. Not even this will be enough, and it's probably time to start asking why they are so invested in Owens. Indeed, coming soon. What would Charlie have to say about this? And what would he think of his so-called friends who can't summon the courage to say it for him? Wondered the Babylon Bee's Seth Dillon. His colleague Joel Berry marveled at the cowardly silence of professional talkers who built their brands on courageous truth-telling. I'm going to give a shout-out in this regard to Megyn Kelly, who has continually defended Candace Owens, and I got to wonder why. You don't got to agree with Ben Shapiro's politics. You don't got to want to go to war with Iran to be like, hey, Candace Owens is lying.
Yeah, Tim, I continually wonder why you run cover for the far left, Tim. I continually wonder why you lie to your audience about what the far left does and what they believe and who they are and how they organize. I wonder many things about many people on the internet, Tim. I wonder why you guys, despite claiming to care about the topic of the far left, despite actively covering the leftist protests for years and years and years, I wonder why you don't understand what the fuck you're talking about and why you can't hinge into reality and tell people the truth. But Tim, guess what? I don't control you. I don't control what you say on your show. You're allowed to say whatever stupid shit you want on your show, and that's your prerogative. And the reason I don't watch Tim, except for more than twice a year, maybe, is because I think Tim is full of shit and doesn't know what he's talking about. So, Timmy, people are allowed to have whatever opinions they want on the internet. If Megyn Kelly wants to defend Candace Owens, you know what? She is allowed to fucking defend Candace Owens. Megyn Kelly is allowed to like Candace Owens. Tucker Carlson is allowed to like Candace Owens. They are allowed to disagree with you, Timmy. Not everyone has to call everyone out and get involved in a fucking cancel mob on the internet. Sometimes people just think Ben Shapiro is an asshole and wants Candace to stick it to him. Sometimes people just think Erika Kirk is weird because she is, and they want to know more information about that. Sometimes people just don't want to be told what to fucking say. And I'm going to be honest, if I had everyone telling me, why don't you denounce Candace Owens? Why don't you denounce Candace Owens? Why don't you denounce? I wouldn't fucking do it either. Not that I actually care about what Candace is saying. Not that I think that Candace is telling the truth about everything, because I think Candace is a narcissist. But if literally everyone and their mother were coming to me and saying, when are you going to denounce Candace Owens? When are you going to denounce Candace Owens? When are you going to, I would be like, fuck you, motherfucker. I don't have to denounce shit. And that wouldn't be a signal of support for Candace Owens. It's just like, it's a bullshit thing to do to get in people's faces and be like, excuse me, why aren't you denouncing this thing I don't like?
Anyway, Joel Berry says, this is pea soup vomit we've come to expect from Candace, but let's talk about what's fueling it. The cowardly silence of the church, the cowardly silence of professional talkers who built their brands on courageous truth-telling.
They want, are you fucking shitting me? They want the church to denounce Candace Owens? Do these people expect the Pope to issue a statement denouncing Candace? Like, is this real fucking life? Are we actually in a reality in which Zionist content retards on the internet are demanding the fucking Pope issue a statement denouncing Candace Owens? As crazy as Candace is, these people are actually worse. This is actually worse than whatever the fuck we just watched on Candace's stream.
Cowards as far as the eye can see. Indeed, cowards. Pure, unadulterated effing evil. Who in God's name would put a woman whose husband was brutally assassinated in front of the entire world through
Meghan
this?
McCain. Okay.
Ask Meghan McCain.
You know.
I am so upset by this. I am just so deeply sorry. Erika and her family have to be put through this. Agreed. We have this one from Rod Dreher. We have a serious problem on the right. Candace is a monster. The most charitable thing one can say is that she is deranged. But what can you say about those who defend her or keep their silence? I would agree. Here we have David Cole. This was a response to the tweet. He said, Candace Owens in August of 2025, quote, Jews commit ritual murder of Christians during Passover. The right. Oh, that Candace, what are you going to do? She's a force of nature. In February, here's my new documentary about how Erika Kirk is a soul-stealing assassin succubus who killed her husband. The right. Wait, Candace is evil. If only we'd seen this coming. Sadly, she gave us no clues up until this very moment. Well, I'd like to give a good shout out to our friends over at the Daily Wire. Had they known, perhaps, look what they've created. But wait, there's more. Evil demon. Shame on all of those who remain silent and incentivize this, especially those who owed their careers and success to Charlie, but won't even say a word to defend his family, friends, and coworkers. Steve D saying, what Candace is doing is the most wicked and satanic thing that has ever come from the online right.
Oh
She's
my
not
God.
right-wing. And the left...
Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? Listen. This is the most wicked and satanic thing that has ever come from the...
Loves to say she is, despite the fact that you can see the audience of socialists who hate Israel are who are watching Candace Owens. Now, don't get me wrong, Candace Owens is a mixture.
Tim thinks Candace Owens' audience is socialists who hate Israel. That might be the most retarded thing I've heard yet today, Timmy. Again, please.
What Candace is doing is the most wicked and satanic thing that has ever come from the online right. She's not right-wing. And the left loves to say she is, despite the fact that you can see the audience of socialists who hate Israel are who are watching Candace Owens.
Hey, Timmy. I literally watch the far left most days of the week. I watch more far left content in a single week, Tim, than you watch in an entire fucking year. I have gone undercover with the far left more than literally anyone involved in your show, Tim. I am 1000% positive that Candace Owens' audience is not made up of socialists who hate Israel. Do you want to know why, Timmy? Because literally none of the far leftists I watch even fucking mention Candace Owens. And when something is important to them, they do this silly thing called talking about it. They mention Nick Shirley. They mention, they talk about Trump. They occasionally mention other people. They occasionally talk about Nick Fuentes. Like, they occasionally mention people that are doing online content, but they never mention Candace Owens. Has anyone ever heard a fucking single socialist that we've watched ever mention Candace Owens ever? You want to talk about unhinged from reality, Timmy? The idea that it's only socialists who hate Israel watching Candace, that is unhinged. This is why we don't watch Tim. Tim doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Now, don't get me wrong, Candace Owens is a mixture. She has some right-wing viewers, but
Some
when you go on
right-wing
YouTube,
viewers, okay.
because I do,
Okay.
and I watch some of these channels.
You know, I'm on
Who do you
YouTube,
see
guys.
who has the big overlap with Candace Owens? Jimmy Dore, who is a
Not
lefty.
a socialist, no.
He is.
It's not a
and
socialist.
the Young Turks, who are leftists. It is.
Okay. So Tim doesn't know the difference between liberal, progressive, and socialist. Okay, well done, Timmy. You've learned nothing.
Incorrect to say Candace Owens is right-wing. And that is only because she worked for the Daily Wire and she said what she needed to say to get attention. She wasn't going to get hired on MS Now, or CNN. And so she found opportunity with the right to be a grifter. Grifting. Yeah, we have this from Nathan Livingston. Watch how Candace Owens has been laying the groundwork from day one to implicate Erika Kirk in Charlie Kirk's death.
But I'm starting to think that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would have never approved of. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I gotta be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture, knowing, as I do, and as Charlie did believe that LBJ was involved, which then implicates the feds as having been involved, which then implicates the Dallas police station as being involved. I believe Israel was obviously involved, that they were the ones who wanted him dead. When Ben came out swinging, I was going, oh, something's very wrong here. Basically, Erika here is pulling the LBJ. And what I mean by that is as soon as LBJ got into office after JFK's assassination, he reversed course on every single one of JFK's policies. JFK's enemies seemingly became LBJ's friends. Erika appears to be doing that to me.
I love how there are people who hate Ben Shapiro, and it's basically just because he's Jewish and is very pro-Israel. Now, by all means, I know people who are critical of Ben Shapiro being.
That's the only reason we hate Ben Shapiro, Timmy, is because he's Jewish and very pro-Israel. That is the only reason that people hate Ben. Not because he's an asshole, not because he's an arrogant douchebag, not because he wants to tell everyone on the internet what to say and do, not because he's tried to censor most of us and cancel most of us, not because he gatekept Nick Fuentes for years because Nick Fuentes dared ask questions that Ben Shapiro doesn't like. No, the only reason that we don't like Ben Shapiro is that he's Jewish. Oy vey.
Pro-Israel. That was always allowed. But holy crap, the anti-Jew stuff just makes my brain fall out of my eyeballs. They actually believe Israel controls the United States. Guys, there's something called the liberal economic order. All of this is plain to see. It is not a deep secret as to the structures of global governance, and Israel is certainly not at.
Tim Pool needs to be canceled. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sick of this shit. Tim Pool needs to be fucking canceled. Like, I don't, like, why do people even still watch him? He's not, I didn't even know this was going to end up in a Tim rant for me today. Why? Like, Tim is not smart. He's not funny. He's not insightful. He's not telling you anything new. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. He is a mid-wit level, like, IQ at best. The fact that Tim does not understand that Israel controls U.S. politics, I just don't even know what to tell you. This is so fucking obvious at this point that, like, this is really an IQ test, people. It is an IQ test. If you understand that Israel controls American politics, you have passed the IQ test, and you don't have to feel any certain ways about Jews. You can love Jews. You can love Israel, but Israel controls American politics. That is just plain old fact. It is obvious to anyone paying attention. If you do not understand that Israel controls American politics, then you have failed the fucking IQ test, or maybe you just haven't been paying attention. I mean, that's certainly possible, but like, this is like Tim needs to be resoundingly canceled on the internet. People need to say, no, enough is enough, Tim. You've been stupid for a long ass time. You've profited greatly, and now it's time to go away. Now it's time to go get in your fucking van and go live down by the river, because your contribution to the internet is like no longer required, because this level of low IQ mid-wittery is just beyond. It is beyond what is acceptable. Thanks, Chevelle, for the super chat. I appreciate it. I wouldn't say so much Satanism, but more like murder mystery on acid. Oh, it's definitely a murder mystery on acid. That's very, very true. Definitely agree with that. Hey, thanks, Anti-Commie. Thanks for being a member of the channel for 2 months. This damn app is treating me like a non-subscriber and won't let me speak. Gotta wait. Okay, guys, listen. Something is going on with YouTube today. Something's going on in the chat. A lot of people have migrated over to Rumble for the day. I don't know what's going on YouTube. I can't fix YouTube. It's happening on every single channel. So we're having a light day today. Hopefully the chat will be better tomorrow. I wish I could fix the problem. I can't fix the problem. So we're just going to laugh at Tim and how fucking dumb he is. And that's what we're going to do.
At the top. Israel has leverage for a variety of reasons, but for the love of all that is holy, get your brain out of your ass and start actually reading this stuff. You know,
could say the same to you, Timmy.
I'm not right about everything. I'm wrong about some things.
True.
But I called the ballot harvesting stuff from 2020 from day one. While many people were saying it was overt fraud, I've been saying ballot harvesting 1,000,001 times, and that's why the SAVE Act is going to save this. Okay? Because voter ID would stop universal mail-in voting and ballot harvesting, where individuals go to nursing homes and they collect a bunch of dummy ballots. That's how they stuff ballot boxes. And it may be legitimate in some cases and not in others. But I just want to make sure this is well understood. If you have two brain cells to rub together and you do any amount of research, you will see that the liberal economic order, an extra-governmental institution that believes it is preventing World War III through global hegemonic unipolar power, uses Israel as a base for the control largely of the Suez and the region. And we do not go to war in the United States because Israel wants us to. In fact, Israel is more like a military colony of the Western powers.
No, Timmy.
But there's no point in trying to explain any of this to anybody. When you try to ask them why the U.S. is going to spending $250 billion in Eastern Europe over Ukraine, they say, Israel. And you're like, well, that doesn't make no sense, does it? Or Taiwan. Why is the U.S. committing troops and resources to Taiwan? You see, these people need to understand. Israel has leverage. Indeed, they do. Zionists are powerful. They exist in government. They are wealthy individuals who are, particularly Barry Weiss, who calls himself a proud Zionist. You tell me your political views on these matters, and we can debate whether we should or should not be involved, with many of these individuals outright saying, we don't want dependence on the U.S. And I say, okay, the United States should stop giving them all this money. Candace Owens is simply saying things that she knows people who don't care will latch onto because there is an international audience. Now, my theory is, and by all means, Candace, by all means, prove me wrong.
Tim, why are you covering it then? Why are you covering it then, Tim? Why don't you just ignore Candace Owens? Why doesn't everyone just ignore Candace Owens? I don't ignore Candace Owens because I find the whole thing incredibly entertaining. That's like, I'm being very clear about this. I want Candace to keep doing this because I find this to be incredibly fucking entertaining. But Tim and Dan Bongino and Ben Shapiro are like, why doesn't Candace just shut the fuck up? And do you know why they're covering it? Do you know why Tim is covering Candace Owens? Because Tim knows he's going to make ad revenue on this video covering Candace Owens. And Tim relies on ad revenue, and that's just and so he is playing into the news cycle. He is playing into what he knows is going to get clicks and views and all that stuff. So Tim is doing literally exactly the same thing that he is accusing Candace Owens of doing. Hey, thanks, Panda Coda over on Rumble for the Rumble rant. Thank you for exposing how the left really operates behind the scenes. Baby girl on the way, you're naming... No. Come on. You're naming your kid after me? Listen, let me just be blunt with you. Having the name Karlyn growing up, it's not exactly the easiest thing. It's no one ever knows how to pronounce your name. Your daughter is going to be called Carolyn or Caroline or Karen her entire life. She's just going to have to get used to it. No one fucking knows how to spell it. There's no one else named Karlyn. I've met like 3 people in my fucking life with my name. Like, you know what the biggest trauma for me was when I was in the 4th grade and they had these books that said, here's the meaning of your name. And everyone in the class had their name in the book and I didn't have my name in the book. So I was the only person in the 4th grade who didn't get here is a meaning of your name because it wasn't in the fucking name meaning book, okay? It was a deeply traumatic experience for me. I've never forgotten it. I still remember it. And you had to write the meaning of your name on a balloon, and I had nothing to write because it wasn't in the fucking book. These are the types of trauma that you are about to inflict on your child by naming your daughter Karlyn. But like that's actually fucking crazy though. Baby, you have a baby girl on the way. We're naming her Karlyn as a sweet, heartfelt nod to your courage and strength. No creepiness, just pure admiration. I mean, it's like, it's overwhelmingly sweet. I don't want to dissuade you, okay? If you want to name your daughter Karlyn, that is overwhelmingly sweet, and I actually like am overwhelmed by it. Like that is a gesture, and I really appreciate it. And you know, I don't even know what to say. I've never had anyone name their kid after me. That's rad. That's rad. W to you, Panda Coda. We appreciate it. Thanks so much for the super chat and for naming your kid after me. I hope she's an Aries. I hope you have her in like April. That would be perfect. You love the name. Okay. Just know that there's hardship that comes with the name. Okay. Just know that. I appreciate it though. Thanks so much for the super chat, old sub. In my opinion, at least Ben has Owens correctly. She is crazy. Oh yeah, she's crazy. Oh yeah, she's totally crazy. But she's entertaining.
Because I do entertain the possibility that it's mainly just Americans. But for the people who are making this content, one thing that would really help us out, and again, not to be accusatory, but one thing that would really help us out is to take a screenshot of your YouTube analytics by geographic location. And I'd be curious. I think there's a decent probability many Americans are big fans of Candace Owens, probably a lot, as well as Ian Carroll and Jimmy Dore as they entertain these issues. And I just say, okay, I'm curious because I genuinely want to know. I think it's fair to say that there are many people around the world that hate Israel, largely Islamic nations, who are going to tune in to stories like this because they want to. I also believe the majority of people watching probably are Americans. That being said, for me, 92% of the people who watch my videos are American. And then you've got some UK, some Canada, and Ireland, and largely English-speaking countries. A little bit of Sweden. I actually have a decent amount of followers from Turkey. And you may be saying, Turkey? That's right, because I covered the Gezi Park protests. They're not really following me on YouTube, but more so on Facebook, because I went to Gezi Park in 2013 for Vice and documented these big protests and got a bunch of people to follow for the live stream coverage. Indeed. And I think that's fair to say. I think it's fair to say. However, it's probably much smaller these days. I mean, it's been over a decade since I had anything to do with what was going on in Turkey. But I did go back and cover the Syrian refugee crisis and things like that. I'm curious as to your audience, Miss Owens. I'd bet, a fair estimate, maybe 20% are coming from outside the U.S. We got Nathan Livingstone with Candace Owens announcing her Erika Kirk investigation, Bride of Charlie. This question has to be asked: is Megyn Kelly the worst mediator of all time?
The hateful people whom I used to call friends, who have been all over the internet trying to shame me and say that no one should ever listen to this program again because I haven't spoken out on the Erika Candace conflict. I don't have any pearls of wisdom other than go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves.
Good.
You have no fucking clue what's going on.
Good.
You don't know what I do behind the scenes. And your world is so myopically online. You fail to
listen. I'm not on Candace Owens' side. I'm not on Tim Pool's side. I'm not on Dan Bongino's side. I'm not on Ben Shapiro's side, obviously. I am 100% on Megyn Kelly's fucking side, though. Megyn Kelly is a goddess. I love Megyn Kelly. And I love that she's telling them all to go fuck themselves. And it's like, I don't even know if I agree with Megyn Kelly, but I love that she's standing her ground and saying, like, no, assholes, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. And I fucking love it. She is a goddess. Never bend the knee, Megyn.
Understand there are real humans involved here, and actually being able to touch grass and have relationships with them, which is something I'm doing, could prove to actually benefit all involved.
Yeah.
Where's the condemnation? And it was all really about the Israel thing.
It was.
For me, it was that you went on the stage at Turning Point USA and said you were glad that Candace Owens was asking these questions, seemingly either ignorant to the fact that she had been, quote unquote, asking questions.
You watch Megyn Kelly for the episode. See, I don't really watch her show. I don't watch anyone's show. It's no shade on Megyn. I don't watch anyone's show. But like, I've seen clips of her, and obviously I fucking loved her Turning Point USA stuff. I thought that she was just like awesome, just like fucking chef's kiss. And I love that she's telling them all to go fuck themselves. And I feel like maybe I should start watching Megyn Kelly's show, honestly, because like this woman right now for me can do no wrong. I just think like she's one of the best people to watch on the internet.
That insinuate Erika Kirk is involved in the assassination conspiracy of Charlie Kirk, and that Charlie's best friends were happy that he died, or you genuinely agree with what Candace was saying when she was asking those questions. Look, I'm not playing any of these games. I'm not here to appease people. Tucker Carlson, for instance, had this interview with Mike Huckabee, where maybe I should do a longer segment on this. I think I will, actually, maybe the next one. I got stuff to talk about. Huckabee said, after October 7th, Israel was trying to rescue children. I mean, what would you do if your children were kidnapped by Hamas? And Tucker says, I wouldn't kill a 14-year-old. And I've been largely neutral on Tucker. He's received a lot of criticism. I say neutral because I'm not going to defend when he says things like, I don't know who Tommy Robinson is, despite knowing who Tommy Robinson is. But for the most part, it's like, well, Tucker's allowed to have his opinions. I mean, he's been nice to me. I responded to that with, I would do nightmarish-ish to protect my daughter. I'm not going to just be like, oh, I better not say anything about Tucker. Listen, I've said things about Joe Rogan. I've said very nice things, and I've been critical in some capacity. I am loyal to my friends, and I will defend them. I have no problem, nor do I have any fears with criticizing someone like Megyn Kelly or Tucker or Joe or anybody if I feel that they're doing something that is untoward and I have feelings as such. There are limits.
Untoward.
I may be first if someone's a good friend of mine or have been very nice to me.
Tim believes that Megyn Kelly is being untoward and he has feelings as such. Well, Timmy, his untoward behavior.
I've said things about Joe Rogan. I've said very nice things, and I've been critical in some capacity. I am loyal to my friends, and I will defend them. I have no problem, nor do I have any fears with criticizing someone like Megyn Kelly or Tucker or Joe or anybody if I feel that they're doing something that is untoward and I have feelings as such.
Untoward.
There are limits. I may be first, if someone's a good friend of mine or have been very nice to me, I may seek to have private counsel before saying anything overtly disparaging.
Counsel.
If there's an individual that I believe to be a good person who I have disagreements with or who I am friends with, then I will be somewhat light. And I can say this for Milo Yiannopoulos, for instance, who has said things that I think we can deeply criticize, who very much is on the Candace train. But when people have called me up and said, why would you keep having him on your show? I say, because he's my friend, because I like him, because he's been very nice to me. And he has, he's been nice to me, and he has helped us out when we've needed it. And he's allowed to have opinions that I don't agree with. And the thing.
Anyone who trusts Milo Yiannopoulos that's like a new fucking level of stupid. I'm sorry. Like, Milo Yiannopoulos is the kind of person that only goes around people where they can get dirt and have access to power, and then they collect as much dirt as possible, and they store all the dirt away just to use the dirt to gain more power later. Like, literally, like, fuck Milo Yiannopoulos. Like, I want nothing to ever do with that guy fucking ever. Thank God he blocked me. Do you guys remember when Milo Yiannopoulos was trying to get me to denounce Nick Fuentes? This actually happened. For people who are new, do you guys remember when Milo Yiannopoulos was being nice to me on Twitter? And then he came into my DMs and he tried to get me to denounce Nick Fuentes and to back away quietly and to stop supporting Nick Fuentes. And I basically told him, no, that wasn't going to happen. And then he started calling me fat on Twitter. And then he started complaining about me on Twitter. And then he spread defamatory lies about me on Twitter. And then finally he blocked me on Twitter because he couldn't get me to shut the fuck up and stay out of his replies. And so I listen, I think Milo can be entertaining, but like, you have to put Milo Yiannopoulos in his proper sphere, which is Milo Yiannopoulos cares about one thing and one thing only, and that is Milo Yiannopoulos and the power that Milo Yiannopoulos has. And he will use anyone he can to gain more power. And the minute that you stop being useful to him is the minute he's going to stab you in the fucking back and defame you and lie about you and do all the fucking things that he does. It's just like, you have to keep him as far away as possible, honestly.
That he can be criticized for, I think he would recognize, and he'd probably laugh about it. That's why I like Milo, because he is an aggressive, well-connected, talented individual who does things that are deeply controversial that I believe often can be criticized. And when I say this to him, he laughs and he goes, "Well, okay," and it's acceptable. It is. But you know what it comes down to is, if you're my friend, you know, F you, you know, that's the way I'll put it. If he went out and like kicked a dog and killed it, I'd criticize him for it. I don't think he's anything like that. And he fights with people. My point is ultimately this. I'm not just going to sit back for things like this because I'm scared of your power. These prominent personalities with large followings, they are gatekeepers. And to a certain degree, rightly so. But you know what? I don't live in a world, my friends, where I'm so deeply concerned about pissing off Candace Owens because her followers are going to get mad at me, because she's going to get mad at me, because Megyn Kelly or Tucker or anybody might get mad. I'm not really suggesting, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about Tucker. I mean, I think Tucker's been largely fine. He's allowed to have his opinions. I don't think he's done anything overtly untoward. There's things to criticize him for, sure. But for the most part, I'm like, you're mad at Tucker because his opinions you don't like. I got really nothing to say to that. Megyn Kelly defending Candace Owens is like, are you ignorant to what she is saying? And Candace Owens is just vomiting all over the place. But hey, this is the modern era, and money is to be made. And for those that want to make money, well, I wish you the best of luck. For me, this was never about being rich and making money. In fact, quite the opposite. The biggest struggle I have is that I don't care. You know, I'm here to talk about the things that I care about, because I have fun talking about them. I'm not driven by just trying to maximize the revenues, but I do recognize to maintain a company, you got to figure out how to make money. That said, let me put it like this. We get big sponsor requests all the time. Turn them down. We have people who would offer us insane amounts of money to be a guest on Timcast IRL. Turn them down. The show that I do is not so that someone could pay me for an appearance fee or something like that. Not interested.
It is the biggest. It is so fucking stupid to offer to pay to go on any of these shows, by the way. And I say that I was never on Tim's show. People think I was on Tim's show. I was never on Tim's show. Tim Pool always fucking hated me. And that's fine. He was always afraid of me. And I never really liked him anyway. So I never really wanted anything to do with it. But like, I was on a lot of these big shows back in 2020. And I've been on big shows before. I've been on Fox News multiple times. Like, people know who I am. I've had access to all of this stuff. Can I just tell you, paying money to go on a show like Tim's show is one of the stupidest fucking investments that you can make. Because like, the reality is I know a lot of people really want to be on stuff like this. This is part of why I don't chill myself out to go on shows. If something happens and someone invites me, that's totally fine. Like Dr. Drew reached out to me and he wanted to invite me on his show because he saw my coverage of the DSA stuff and he saw that I was recording leftist meetings and Dr. Drew was interested in that and we DM'd about it and now I'm going to go be on his show tomorrow. That is a different thing. That's like someone taking an interest in what I do day to day and saying, hey, do you want to come and talk about it? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come and talk about it. But someone actually, like, I would never go to someone and pay to be on their show because honestly, this is what people need to hear. Yeah, the love line guy. Yeah. So this is what people need to hear. Just because you're on someone's show and just because that show is really, really big and gets millions of views even, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have the impact on your following and your brand that you want it to have. I know many people who have gone on Tim's show where Tim didn't let them talk, talked over them, argued with them. And so these people take time out of their day. They fly to wherever the fuck Tim is. They're all excited to go on Tim's show. And they're like, I'm going to be on Timcast. And then Tim doesn't allow them to fucking talk. And it's like, I've seen this happen. I've known people who were actually really fucking upset that when they went on Tim's show, he didn't allow them to talk. He talked over them. They didn't get a chance to talk about anything they wanted to or anything they were an expert in. There was no reason for them to even be there. And they come back going like they were really excited to go on the show. And then they come back and obviously they don't say this in public because they don't want to piss Tim off, but they're actually really fucking pissed at the experience they had being on his show because he didn't allow them to fucking talk. And so it's kind of like, why would you pay money for that? Like, why would, like, okay, maybe you can get a clip you can use, I guess, but why not just put out really good work in the world? And if they cover, Tim has covered my work accidentally. I always loved it when Tim accidentally covered my work, where he'd be reading an article and then all of a sudden my name would come up and he'd be like, and he wouldn't want to read it because Tim doesn't like me because he's afraid of me. And so it's like, but why would you pay money to go on something that really isn't going to have that much impact? Because it's like, you're going to get a clip from it. Get a clip by doing good work. Get a clip by doing work that is so good that even people who don't invite you on their shows, like, end up talking about what you're doing. You know, that's happened to me. How many times has that happened to me? It's like, you know, so honestly, it's dumb to pay to go on shows like that. It really is.
We've had sponsors reach out and say, we're willing to pay $50,000, but we want to be able to come on the show. And I'm like, that's not happening. Listen, you can sponsor the show. And if you have something to say, and we think what you say matters, we'll invite you on the show. That is, if you have a presence online to a certain degree, not always needing to be large, but we can see that you have thoughts and opinions on current news and events that we think would make for interesting conversation. You don't got to be the most famous person in the world. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world, but we're willing to have you on. And so, for example, Mike Lindell sponsored the show, but we have him on the show as well. What's Mike Lindell? Come on. The guy's, he's running for office. He's prominent. Makes sense. We're not going to turn down a sponsorship, but we're not going to predicate your appearances based on whether or not you're giving us money. I don't play those games. So we try to make sure there's a fine line, and we're certainly happy to get sponsors. And I'll just put it like this. I am not going to sacrifice my thoughts, opinions, and convictions because it's going to get me more clicks. Never going to happen. So
wouldn't it be funny? And again, I'm never going on Tim's show. I don't care if they have invited me before and I was like, yeah, no. So I'm never going on Tim's show. That's never going to happen because like literally fuck that asshole. But like, wouldn't it be funny? Listen, I'm not telling you guys to do this. I'm just saying it would be funny if a bunch of people sent super chats to Tim during his show saying what Karlyn has to say matters, Timmy. Wouldn't that be funny as hell? If a whole bunch, again, I'm not telling you to do this, do whatever you want. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. I'm just saying it would be really fucking funny if a whole bunch of people send super chats to Tim's show saying, what Karlyn says matters, Tim. Only if you want to. No one has to do nothing.
Candace, well, congratulations being rich.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there. Smash that like button if you'd like to. Share the show.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our Candace Owens coverage for the day. You guys like these sunglasses? These are my favorite sunglasses, I think, right now. Aren't these fucking cool? Whatnot sunglasses. Marc Jacobs, Whatnot sunglasses. Awesome. Anyway, guys, this is a light day for us. We're just watching some Candace seething, and it was really entertaining. And I can't wait to see where Candace goes with this. To be honest with you, I'm really entertained by the whole thing. I'm entertained by the online meltdowns. I'm entertained by the reaction. I'm entertained by how pissed off people were before Candace even aired the first fucking episode. It's all great. It's all great. And so hopefully the YouTube chat will be better tomorrow. Hopefully YouTube gets their shit together. As a reminder, tomorrow we are not starting the stream at 5 because I will be on the Dr. Drew show tomorrow. So I don't know where you guys can watch that, but I'm sure you guys can figure out a place to watch it somewhere. Come watch me on the Dr. Drew show tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. And then I will probably go live after that. And then after that, we have a spy stream around 7:30. So we will be live however many minutes we have between when I'm done with the Dr. Drew show and when we do spy stream around 7:30 Eastern time, of course. Spy stream is going to be supporter only tomorrow. Friday spy stream will be public, so that's a nice little weekend benefit. So make sure you're marking your calendars. I will send out the spy stream information tomorrow for us to be able to go inside a live leftist training. And I hope you guys enjoy the appearance on Dr. Drew. I actually think it's going to be a real interesting conversation. So that's all for today. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you to everyone who sent in super chats and channel memberships. Really do appreciate the support. You guys rock. I have the best community on the internet. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer. I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that? account for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.